Genshin Impact goes crazy, dog. Hold on one sec. I got a really funny thumbnail I made for this stream. Stupid AI. Alright, that.
One, two,
Yeah, that's the thumbnail I want.
three, four, mm.
Okay, let's continue. The quality I imagine looks like shit, because it always does when I stream off my PS5, so whatever. Is what it is, I don't really care. Oh, look at these guys. Oh yeah, I ran from these guys in the last stream, because for some reason those guys are insanely tough. I need someone to join me. I can't take those fucking guys out. They, they're pretty strong. So there was a 25 gigabyte update for this game that I just downloaded. So, did they add new areas? Or what's up? They added new areas down here, maybe? No, it looks about the same. I don't know what they added. Everything looks the same to me. Okay. I don't know what was 25 gigabytes. 25 gigabyte update. Didn't do shit. They probably just added a bunch of new characters and stuff that I can't access yet. That's probably what they did. This old lady?
All things must change. Youngster, are you here to admire the flowers? But it's a shame. These glazed lilies have almost all wilted.
What happened to them?
Back in my day, people said that glazed lilies can read human hearts. If they heard beautiful sounds like laughter and singing, they would also bloom joyfully. But if they heard too much wild gossip or slander, they would quickly wither away.
So that means these flowers feel what's happening in Lilith?
Yes, the rumors of Rex Lapis's death are no small matter. They are everywhere. Some say it was a Fatui plot. Others say that the Chising made it all up. And still others think that that which lies in the deep is breaking free.
Miku. No, I don't like Miku. She's nice in Minecraft though.
This harbor is like a mountain of dry tinder. Well, I shall say no more. This old woman's grown too old and naggy. Did you have something to say, youngster? Ah, that old trinket.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it being here with me, but I've grown old. I can't quite recall where it is exactly. An old friend of mine used to wear it on his person. Back when I was young, he saw me gazing at it often and gave it to me. But he told me then that if someone should come to borrow that bell, I should not be loath to part with it. It has been many years, and who knows how many times someone has come to borrow this bell.
No, don't teleport to me. How do you know my address? I'm I'm telling the policemen on you. I'm so scared right now. Don't teleport to me. Don't. Oh, I'm scared.
Still, though, I can't recall when it started. It's been a long time since anyone has come to borrow it. Oh, these old bones are so slow to look for things. I doubt you can wait that long.
Every day of my life, you motherfucking people dox my address. Every fucking day.
That's right, Granny. We'll follow you back home and search for it ourselves. And, we can help with chores if you have any too.
All right, children, there is no need to worry. I didn't place the bell very far away.
Do you live near here, Granny? Whoa, but this is Eugene Terrace. It's gotta be expensive.
Oh, an old lady like me can't afford to buy a place in this city. See this ceramic teapot?
I
My
see it.
entire household is in here.
What?
How does that work? What? There's no way Paimon would fit in there. And why do you need Paimon to go in anyway? Can't you just lift the lid and look inside?
Oh, youngsters. I simply mean that the bell is somewhere inside this teapot, and you are quite welcome to borrow it. If you can find it.
We can go inside the teapot? No way. No way. There's no way. What the fuck?
Where are we? What just happened?
Youngsters, this is where this old woman keeps all her things. Quickly now, go fetch that bell.
God damn, bro.
That sounds like Granny's voice. So, this is her teapot? What's going on?
Ah! Ah!
So many cobwebs. It seems I really haven't cleaned it in a long while. Sorry to trouble you, children. Please help an old lady clean up.
Oh no. Oh no.
Life goes on.
Yeah, superconductum. I'm an ice type.
Oh, I didn't feel that.
Freeze! You could get frostbite.
Aha. This girl character is really good at healing the rest of my party. Whenever she uses her ability to attack with it, she like heals up the rest of my party. It's pretty useful.
Faster? Okay, faster. You notice? The cobwebs were made of elemental energy. How long has it been since Granny last swept this place?
Cool it!
You asked for it! Bye.
Yeah, Lan Yan is still my best character. Wow. Oh. Uh, that guy's gone. Hold on. I don't see any chests around here. Oh shit. Let's go.
You know, with such a special teapot and the cleansing bell, do you think this old granny could also be an adeptus?
No idea. Heh.
1, 2, 3.
That's funny. The fucking. Why do I get so many Facebook ads on YouTube? Like, seriously. Doesn't Facebook make all its money from ads? Why are they advertising on their competitors? That makes no sense. So stupid. So fucking stupid.
Paimon's more and more convinced that she's an adeptus. But don't they all live in Gilliam Karst? Why would she stay in the city? Dancing in the wind, closing in.
Come on, get them all. Oh, bitch ass keeps freezing me. Look at this, he keeps freezing me.
Up and away.
Maybe I should try fire against this guy, hold on.
Drop your weapons.
Oh yeah, that worked a lot better. Oh no, oh no. Always does that.
Final warning. Justice will prevail.
Shit.
Closing in. Swift as the swallow. Sacred name, fortune preserver. Fast puff. Drop your weapons. Welcome by. How many levels does this teapot have? It would be nice if we had one of these too. Or at least we wouldn't have to camp outside.
Mm. Found the cleansing bell?
You found it. Youngsters are so quick on their feet. Now, let me see. All right, that'll do. Come on out now, children.
Hold the fuck up.
Oh, in and out in no time. You youngsters really are quick. An adeptus. Oh, I haven't heard anyone say those words in earnest for a long time. As to whether I am one or not, child, surely you already understand.
Paimon kinda knows what you mean, but is also kinda confused. Are you really giving us the bell just like that, Granny? Don't you think it's weird? Someone's just happened to Rex Lapis and then we come running up asking for it?
Oh, don't be silly. Niwa Harbor has been through a great deal in its history. In that time, it has seen the departure of countless Adepti. But no matter what, we have always performed the rite of parting first before any other matters. To cry, catch the murderer at the top of one's lungs, but ignore the rite of parting. That, to me, is what is wrong-headed. Now that you have come to borrow the bell, I guess that perhaps an old friend of mine has finally decided to take matters into their own hands. So, why would I be unwilling to lend you the bell? Oh? Well, if it came to that, they would find a certain old lady knocking at their door. We haven't met in a while anyway. It would be nice to share a drink and chat. Well, you must have things to do. Since you have the bell, you should return. Oh, and do tell the person who sent you that if they have time, they can come over for tea. I don't have much to offer, but you can always count on an old lady for a pot of tea.
We will. Thanks, Granny.
This is a peaceful neighborhood.
Okay, where should I go from here? Kind of just running around collecting all these silk flowers and glazed lilies.
Whoa,
Hey, a
can I have
chest.
some? Spread the luck around.
Auto reconfiguration is an essential function.
Yeah, look at this. Wow.
Wheelie Pavilion. Best seafood in town.
Alright, where should I go from here? Over here. Nearly done fucking 30 hours of this shit.
Indeed, this is the cleansing bell. It's in good condition. Let's place the perfume we've prepared inside. Of course. How would I know that the bell was with her otherwise?
That's suspicious. But if you don't want to talk about it, we won't pry. Oh, yes, that old granny asked us to tell you something. If you have the time, you can come over for tea. I don't have much to offer, but you can always count on an old lady for a pot of tea.
That tone does not suit you. Still, her teapot is indeed very good. There are none better for brewing tea. When a suitable time arrives, I'll bring a spot of fine tea and pay her a visit.
So what's the next step in our preparations?
Next, we need to purchase kites.
Ooh, Paimon loves kites! Are you taking us kite flying? Is this our break time?
No. Kites are children's toys, yes. But they also play various symbolic roles in Liyue's rituals. I will explain it to you. But our next course of action should probably be to purchase the kites first.
Oh, sure. Curiouser and curiouser.
Okay then.
Is impacting visa and green card holders, and in some cases tourists. A number of European and Canadian tourists, including this woman from Vancouver, claim they were stopped at US border crossings and detained at immigration facilities for days or weeks, they say without good reason. And some countries have updated travel advisories to the US, with Germany emphasizing to its citizens that a visa or entry waiver will not guarantee entry. And even the UK recently added a warning to its travel advisory, saying that anyone found breaking US entry rules could face arrest or detention. Let's bring in Kate Lincoln Goldfinch now. She's an immigration attorney and the managing partner of Lincoln Goldfinch Law, joining us from Austin, Texas. Great to have you with us. Let's just start with someone entering the country who's a permanent resident. How are their rights different than citizens returning to the US?
Well, both citizens and permanent residents have way more rights than visa holders. For example, a permanent resident can't have their status just revoked at the airport, But if they've been out for too long, or if they have a criminal history, or if they've engaged in certain protest behaviors as of late, they could definitely be sent to secondary inspection and questioned, and maybe even have their actual physical card taken away. But only a judge can order their status revoked or abandoned. That won't be ordered at the airport, but they definitely can be sent to secondary inspection and maybe.
Rogan wanted to perform his comedy here in Vancouver during COVID, but the venue wouldn't let him do it unvaccinated. We've been commies ever since. Yeah. To be fair, I would use that as a reason to not let Rogan in as well if I had the opportunity. I'd be like, sorry, next week everyone is unvaccinated, but just Joe Rogan is like, oh, sorry, this week we just are not letting any unvaccinated comedians in.
1, 2, 3.
Joe Rogan, I won't be at UFC 315. I don't go to Canada anymore. I'd rather go to Russia. Bro, that is... what? First of all, why is he giving a gift to Canadians? If you don't with Canada, you not going inside of the Canadian border is only a gift to Canada. He's like...
These are bad numbers. It was expected that we would see it drop to 94, but seeing it drop to 92.9, that is the lowest since the middle of the pandemic back in 2021.
Wow. Let's get a chart of that. That is sick.
So that is extremely bad news. Now, the other thing that we're seeing is that the prior month, the February number, was revised up from 98.3 to 100.1, so this makes it an even bigger drop. The present situation index actually drops to 136.5 from 138.1, and expectations drop to 65.2 from 74.8. So all the components of this are not good. And so it does suggest that consumers are being weighed down by the whole tariff discussion and what's been going on in Washington. The issue is that so far, we haven't seen that translate into a whole lot of action. And the consumer sentiment numbers don't necessarily predict what's going to happen. They're more contemporaneous. When you see them go down, you usually see a decline in retail sales kind of thing.
Well, this is why we talk about soft data turning hard, right?
We're waiting for that.
I just sent... I feel like it isn't possible to make a video on Josh Block or World of T-Shirts and that video not feature some sort of insanity. And today's video is no different than any other, because Josh has been losing his mind on the regular in New York, in Boston, in Canada, and he's been partying hard the whole time while doing it. You can see that Josh is in the St. Patty's Day spirit from last week, because look at his hair. It was green for a while, and it's starting to dissipate now, but Josh Block with green hair is like a different beast, and you're gonna see that very shortly, because before he got back to New York, he was, as I said, in Boston, and this woman on the screen is a mess, and we'll get to her further down in the video, trust me. But while he was in Boston, St. Patty's Day was going on, and Josh was under the wing of these couple of weirdos following him around. They were trying to treat him like a celebrity, being like, yo, we got Josh here for St. Patty's Day, we're gonna have a good night. All the while, Josh is like, I need a lawyer, someone broke my $30,000 necklace. And that's basically the running theme of the video you're about to see right now. Because while Josh was supposed to be partying and living it up, he was gifted a necklace that was supposedly worth $30,000. Now this necklace was everything to Josh. Not because he particularly liked the necklace, but because it was something worth immense value to him, which showed that he was no normal person. He was a rich man. So when this necklace got broken, Josh reacted accordingly.
Fucking necklace! It's worth 30 grand! Let's go to the jeweler to get it fixed. What is that? I want my necklace fixed! I want my necklace fixed!
Where's the nearest jeweler? Where's the nearest jeweler? Let's go to the jewelry store now! It's not closed! Are you fucking dumb? Well, find somewhere that's open! Find the jewelry store that's open! I want my necklace fixed! No, I can't wait that long! How am I supposed to wear it? I want my necklace fixed. We're going to the nearest jewelry store and we're fixing it.
Do you want me to look one up?
Yeah, look one up, please. I want my necklace fixed. Get my necklace fixed. This damn country. I want to go home to Hills. Get off of me. Dude, please, just jump on that. $30,000 necklace is broken. It'll never work again. Go to the jeweler right now. Why? We gotta go now. We gotta go now. We gotta go now. We gotta go now. It's worth nothing. We're going to the jewelry store now. Let's go. We're going to the jeweler now. Come on, can you find the jeweler that's open? You see, this right here is a product of guys like Mr. Based and the dude Tony that's holding Josh back on screen right now, kissing his ass and making him think that he's a celebrity. Don't get it twisted, Josh has millions of followers on TikTok. He is pretty famous. But when you hype it up like, oh, we got Josh Block coming to town, slide out to this bar tonight, it's gonna be lit, he'll be there, all that's gonna happen is he's gonna freak out after having a few drinks when somebody inevitably yells, put the fries in the bag. And then you're stuck in a situation like this guy's in right now. Mr. Based in particular treats Josh like he's infallible. He'll tell Josh, you're a rock star, you can do whatever you want. And he has ingrained this whole idea in Josh that when something goes wrong for him now, it's up to whoever's around him to fix that problem while he freaks the fuck out about it. He's yelling at these dudes like, go do it now. Like, what are you doing? Like, go fix my shit for me. And that's because they flew him out here. In his mind, he kind of is their guest. He's their celebrity of honor. And it's because nobody knows how to handle this guy. I mean, the dude's trying to hold him back. Everyone else is just looking at their phone with their heads down. And that's always what happens. Josh crashes out, nobody knows what to do, and people just let it happen. So he does it again and again and again. Let's go to the jeweler, please. I want my luxury. I want to be rich again. I want to be rich again. I want to be rich again. I love you. You're a fucking asshole. You snapped my necklace. And you heard it right there. You heard it right there. Josh only looks at this necklace as a sign of how well he's doing in the world. He wants to feel rich again, damn it. When he had that necklace on, he was a shot caller. A big ballin' motherfucker. But now that that necklace is broken, everyone's like, oh my god, it's that poverty-stricken dude with the broken necklace. What a fool he is. And when Josh is this angry, nobody is safe from his wrath. Did you hear that guy go, dude, I love you, Josh, you're my idol? And Josh snapped back at him real quick. He blamed that guy for breaking his necklace. So, I mean, everybody is in Josh's firing range right now. We're going to the jeweler now. We gotta go now. How am I gonna wear that thing? We gotta go to the jeweler now. No, I can't wait that long. He said he found the jeweler. Let's go. We're going now. I want my wealth back. Stop it. So did you
just see that at the end there? He just randomly starts bum rushing to these couple dudes on the street, and thank God the guy who's holding him back was there to hold him back, because Josh does this all the time. He never faces repercussions for it either, because people just laugh it off and run away until Josh inevitably runs away from them. But he's been doing this a lot lately, just randomly hitting and kicking people. Someone, like, randomly in a crowd will yell, "Put the fries in the bag," and Josh will run up to another random guy, throw a fake punch, but then start kicking him in his shins, or maybe throwing a beer at them. Like, he went after these dudes hard as hell. And this is what I mean. Like, he's not some guy who's like, "Oh shit, it's the party animal Josh Block. He's gonna be alive with us tonight at this bar." Like, this is what's gonna happen. He's an unhinged alcoholic. Like, Josh needs to be in AA. He needs to be in rehab, but he will never, ever do something like that. Josh hates even the thought of going to rehab because it will stop him from one day of drinking. But not just for his attitude, but for his health too, because remember, a few weeks ago, Josh was diagnosed with pancreatitis, and I'm pretty sure he's drank every night since then. But none of these guys care about that. It's just a really big deal to have somebody with 4 million TikTok followers on stream with you, or to be on their stream, you know? But if you want to chill with Josh Block, you gotta deal with him randomly going after people like you just saw right there. That was one thing that kind of had me a little bit confused about these fellas following Josh around. They were acting like bodyguards, and anybody who told him to, like, put the fries in the bag or messed with him a little bit, they were like, "Man, you're a piece of shit. Get out of here, asshole." Like, oh, they were treating these people who mess with Josh like the scum of the earth. And the way I see it is, like, they're yelling at these guys, and they're like, "Real cool, dude. Real cool yelling at an autistic kid. Come on, Josh, let's get you to the nearest bar, somewhere you can be safe." And so I'm not trying to sound virtue signaling and say, "Oh man, yeah, you guys are just like encouraging Josh to drink. He's a full-ass grown man. Yeah, he might be autistic, but he can still make his own decisions." However, I think it's weird to call out people and call others pieces of shit, when really, I mean, you're enabling Josh just as much as people who yell, "Put the fries in the bag."
My phone. I'm gonna smash it.
Boston, we're looking forward to an awesome
Smash my necklace. I'm gonna smash my phone. It's all your fault, TikTok. It's all your fault. That fucking clock app ruined my life.
So after Josh left Boston, he went up to Montreal, and a few notable things happened while he was there. He went to a Montreal Canadiens hockey game, and that's why you can see him donning the jersey. He loves that thing, and I thought it would become like a new staple, something Josh would wear for weeks on end, but he's taken it off now, and I can't imagine it'll go back on anytime soon. Josh was also, like, hanging out with some dude who owned an online casino, and they just, like, basically put the casino's hoodie on Josh and had him sit there and play a couple games while he was texting on his phone, kind of like you see in this clip here. And I said it last week on my podcast, Too High for Stupid, but this, this whole situation, it leads me to draw comparisons to the Frankie Valli situation. Like, he doesn't know where he is or what he's doing, but they'll just get him out there, get him to promote shit, get him to sing the hits, and then, you know, just ship him back to his house or wherever the fuck he's at. But as they always do for Josh, all roads lead back to New York, and more specifically, all roads lead back to Mr. Bass's apartment. So they started streaming again, and Josh looked like he wanted to be anywhere but there. So they pack up and they head down to Mr. Bass's favorite place in the world, Durgies, a dive bar that is really the only place that still lets them in, and is really the only place that lets them stream. So they pick up some pizza, they head to the bar, and almost immediately they start getting pressed by some old man who does not want to be on camera.
I hate the fucking camera. They're not fucking recording. It's not about you. They're doing their own thing.
I love the camera.
Oh, and also, this is where we meet this woman, who will become a prominent fixture of this entire video today. You see, she is trashed. She's at the bar, and she's flirting with every dude there. She's actually, I think, the only woman in this place, and, I mean, granted, there's only like 7 people there, but she has a really clear liking for one Josh Block.
Hey, Josh, interview her. Ask her about her life. Sorry. We're gonna make sure.
Why did my Tinder account BA and Indeed?
No, I don't care. I work in talent, so I understand that. Yeah.
It's not on anyone.
Yo, shut up, bro. You're fucking talent, so quiet.
What the fuck? We're in public.
Do you want to know how I can sue your ass?
I'll counter sue you.
Yes, I will sue you even more, bro.
I'll counter you.
Yeah, I'll counter you on a regular.
Leave me the fuck alone and get out of here.
Don't be mean. All right, Genki Death Guy. Josh is a sweetheart.
Leave me the
But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, just keep me out of it, and then it's all good.
What is your problem?
Josh, I think it's all good. I think it's all fine.
Get the hell away.
Yeah. We'll just keep everyone separated. We'll do what we can. We always like to make everyone happy in the
away
bar.
from me.
Here, Josh.
You don't know where I came from. I'm from the southern Bronx.
I don't give a flying fuck where you came from, bro.
We all have knives in the Bronx.
Yeah, knives all the way across New York City, bro.
Unfortunately, I'm lucky. I'm so unlucky. I was born in the worst country on the planet. America's such a dangerous country.
It's a shithole.
I have to carry a knife in my own neighborhood.
That's your fault. Tell them no.
It's not my fault. I can't walk the streets. You're such a pervert. Because I make money and you don't.
Oh, I guess you don't know who I am, bitch.
I'm from the southern Bronx.
Yeah, thank you so much.
This don't hurt at all.
Whoa!
That don't hurt at all.
Whoa! Josh called him pervert. I will say at one point the guy had his face in that woman's chest area, but I do recall on stream, and I had to edit it out here, I'm pretty sure she went up to him and did that. Still hilarious that was Josh's go-to insult though. I mean, he's trying to really stake his claim here that he is from the Bronx, he makes more money than this guy, and Josh is putting him in his place right now. The chat did not like that old man trying to step to Josh like this. It's hilarious to me that this guy is calling Josh a baby, insulting him, which many people do not do. They just kind of shake their head and go, yeah, whatever, he's got problems. But this guy's going at Josh, and all Josh can do is repeat his usual 4 or 5 things, but he's throwing a lot of new material in there, such as beating his chest and calling the guy a pervert again, which really, again, that caught me off guard. But that guy ended up being kicked out of the bar. He couldn't even pay his bar tab, and Josh was told to yell, "You're BANNED" to the guy as he left. Because guess what was happening? I did not know this until editing this video and looking back over it, but Josh was 110% correct in his assessment that that man was a pervert. Because the bartender said later on in the stream that the dude was trying to grab the other guy at the bar's downstairs area for over an hour. So what an actual creep. For real, tell him off, Josh. But after that guy left, that girl sat back down next to Josh, and Mr. Based really tried to make them an item. He was like, Josh, talk to this girl. She really wants to get to know you. And as you can see, she did. She was looking at Josh the whole night. To be fair, though, she was eyeing up everybody that night. And this is just a stereotypical girl at a bar who had too much to drink, and she started getting just a little too crazy. At one point, somebody sent in a donation telling her to flash the stream, which she almost immediately did, and she knew it was live, too. She could see the numbers. She, even after the fact, she said, I should have gotten paid for this and everything. But then she made a statement that later on would come back to look so fucking weird, and you will see why. Because this girl said that if someone were to propose to her, and she were to get married, that the wedding ring should cost the amount of salary that her partner makes in 1 year. Yes, that's right. Say you make 50 grand in a year, well then she deserves a $50,000 ring. Say you make 200 grand a year, same thing. Now, I get it, right? You're shooting for the moon. But now let's be realistic. First of all, that's financially irresponsible as hell. You could lose that ring one day. Like, you could be doing the dishes and drop that ring down the sink, and there you go. There's $150,000 just completely wasted. Like, imagine if she were to marry Josh. That's a $400,000 ring. And also, it just shows you have more interest in the monetary aspect rather than, like, having real feelings for that person. But that's not important. It's just the fact that she said that's how she views her self-worth. And like I said, anybody, you can think of yourself that way. There's nothing wrong with that. So if this girl says that a man should spend his entire year's salary on her wedding ring, then, so be it. Maybe he should. Maybe that's what she deserves, because that's what she's putting out into the universe. If you want a woman as good as this, you gotta pay, you gotta pay top dollar. So, you may then wonder, well, what if you only want her for one night? how much would that cost?
400?
No.
500?
No.
550?
Anonymous sent $15
Just
missing.
kidding.
No. I mean, for
Pocket if you want that
1,500,
alarm.
yes.
You would sleep with Josh for 1,500?
Yeah.
Josh, she'll sleep with you for 1,500 cash.
No.
You're not interested?
Josh shut that shit down real quick, and Jason was damn ready to pay that. You know he was. If Josh had agreed, Jason would have been like, oh my god, I love that. Like, that's awesome, because he's the king of pimps, former king of pimps. This is all Jason knows. And then that woman, again, what, how does your self-worth go from a man spending his entire salary on your wedding ring to $1,500 to do the deed with Josh friggin' Block? Are you kidding me? That girl is gonna regret this fucking stream so badly. For flashing them, for giving up her price for how much it would have costed to spend a night with Josh. I mean, by the time I'm recording this, she probably hasn't even woken up yet. So, oh my god, that is terrible. This is a very important life lesson for all of you. If you're ever at a bar, no matter how drunk you may be, if you see Mr. fucking Bass show up with a camera, do not get in front of it. Shortly after this, they went home, they ended the stream, and that's really all she wrote for this night in the books. But those are the two stories I wanted to come here and show you today. Josh's fight at the bar, which really wasn't that much of a fight, more of an argument. This woman...
Now, let me tell y'all something. A lot of y'all want to sit there and call me a freak. And that's fine. But you know what? I'm glad to be a freak. I'm glad that I stand out. And you want to know why? Because at least I'm not afraid to be myself. Unlike you, there's a reason I chose this mask and my only mask. And there's a very particular reason. Because I want to be a freak. I want to be different. I want to stand out. I want you guys to see the monster that you created all those years ago.
Unbelievable. It's been about a year since we've last looked in on the story of One Chance Wilkins, and barring a few major changes, nothing's really changed. Like, he's still going through hell. The trolls are putting him through it, and guess what? He's still trying to talk to kids. Cyrax is somebody who constantly gets exposed for being one of the worst people on the internet, and then he says, I'm done. I'm leaving the internet. I'm leaving forever. And then he comes right back. And then he yells at the trolls. And then he says, I'm leaving the internet again. After doing another messed up thing. And I don't want to spoil it, but do you want to take a wild guess on what's going to happen in today's video? Because yes, the times have changed, but Chance himself hasn't. He's still making new YouTube channels that inevitably get taken down after a few days or a few weeks. He's not making a single dime online, yet still claiming that the internet is his job because he's a singer, songwriter, drift king, car driving extraordinaire. He was in another relationship recently, and I put relationship in heavy air quotes. Like, I know you can't really see them, but maybe you could hear them right there. But yeah, another girlfriend, and for some reason, of course, yet again, the children that this woman had before meeting Cyrax, who Chance has never met, have now oddly become Chance's own children in his eyes. Oh my god, I can't believe you're gonna take my kids away from me, he says when they break up, to a woman who had kids that he never even met before. In every one of these relationships, real or fake, that he's gotten into where the significant other has kids and he's claimed them to be his own, he always seemingly cares so much for the children rather than the girl he's with. And honestly, knowing Cyrax's track record, that's pretty goddamn sinister when you really sit down and think about it. Chance is also using other tragedies in the world that have nothing to do with him and trying to attribute it to his own situation, mainly so he can point the finger at the trolls and talk about how they're the worst people to ever step foot on God's green earth. And all the while, he's doing this while still under the impression that his head troll, the guy who's been going at him for years, Music Biz Marty, well, Chance is unaware that Marty passed away about 2 months ago. And for some of you who were still unaware of that, that's not a troll. Marty, or Nick Beagler, as Cyrax will call him numerous times, passed away back at the end of January. And Chance absolutely does not believe that for a second. Now, that's what he'll tell you. He'll say, "Oh, Marty, you're just fucking with me." But I will say the videos I've seen where he only now calls out William and M-word boy, it is seemingly weird. Like, I think he's starting to understand it, but maybe not. Maybe I'm giving the Goblin too much credit. But after Marty died, a lot of people worried that, oh, Chance was just gonna run back to the internet and start talking to kids again. Nobody was gonna stop him, and that is the furthest thing from the truth. Chance is still being stopped by the trolls at every turn, every time he tries to talk to a kid, and also he's still thoroughly raging over things like his Xbox being destroyed yet again. Because, ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you, the past few months with everything going on with Chance have been quite wild, and I haven't been inclined to make a video on him for the longest time, but seeing as everything going on right now and how crazy it's been, I don't think there's a better one. So, with all that said, take it away, Chance.
What's up, everyone? My name is Chance, aka the Troll Hunter, aka more commonly known as Cyrax. I went under the name Troll Hunter to try to stop some of what's going on with trolling and bullying. But this video is not a call-out video like my last two. This is a video to spread awareness about a very, very, very serious subject matter that's not being taken seriously at all whatsoever.
Hey, do you know what?
This is about online trolling and bullying. I myself have been a victim of online trolling and bullying for over 8 years. And just this morning the line got drawn and went way too far. When another quote-unquote lolcow, as the troll community calls them, by the name of Tofiachu, her mom was shot and her brother was shot and killed this morning by a bunch of internet trolls that wanted to bully her.
Firstly, why would you even say that, not knowing anything about the situation? A bunch of internet trolls and bullies apparently went to Tofia and did that whole situation. No, not even in the slightest. It was a random 43-year-old carjacker with a laundry list of priors, but Chance here wants to make it about him. He wants to make this that the trolls did it, and look at the violence the trolls are committing. And when is it going to be enough? It just happened to Tofia, it could happen to me too. And he even says that. He references the time that he thinks someone shot through his window when it was really just a mousetrap going off in his room. But it's like he woke up, saw the news of what happened to Tofia, immediately booted up his camera and was like, holy shit, I told you so. This trolling nonsense needs to stop. And really, again, you're just trying to blame the trolls for a horrible situation that was just, it was just some random lunatic who had no idea who the Slidell family was. But I can't really fault Chance for having this opinion, considering Tofiachu herself has been on Instagram most of the week blaming the trolls and people who have called her out in the past. You see, her logic is that yes, they got evicted because of like not paying rent, but the trolls talking about how dirty their house was really attributed to them getting kicked out. And because they got kicked out and put out on the streets, well, it all led to this. So it must be the trolls' fault when, you know, she's negating the fact that they just didn't pay their rent and they left their house as a filthy mess. But it's the trolls' problem. It's the trolls' fault, and they should all be held accountable. And that's what Cyrax is trying to get you to feel right now, because he wants to make this all about him, and he's trying his hardest, and it's just not working. Chance doing this just seems so tone-deaf, but every single time something bad happens to a quote-unquote lolcow, Chance is always sure to make it about him.
Her mom and brother both were hospitalized. Her brother was pronounced dead. And I'm here to say right now to Tofiachu, I am deeply sorry for your loss. I know what it's like to lose a family member. I know what it's like to lose somebody to gun violence. I lost my best friend Zach in 2016 to gun violence when he was gunned down in his family's pizza shop. So I understand the pain that you feel. It's not easy. It's very, very difficult.
Okay, what is it with these guys trying to, like, sympathize and try to resonate with Tofia? Nova did this too. Nova said, I feel you, Tofia, I get your pain. And here's Cyrax doing the same exact thing despite never going through anything like this. What Chance is trying to compare to that situation is the time that his so-called best friend, Zach, got shot at his family's pizza place, and this was like a big news story in Akron back in 2016, and Chance has screamed to the heavens that this was his best friend. These two did everything together. Him and Zach were basically inseparable, and when they took his best friend, it wiped his whole world out. But the friends and family of Zach have all come out and said, yeah, Chance, like, he barely knew Zach. He never talked to him. Zach was just like, hey, buddy, whenever he saw him. But to Chance, this was like his brother getting taken out. And he always uses this for sympathy, despite really not even knowing this guy at all. But Chance is always on some nonsensical bullshit like this. Remember at the beginning of the video where I told you he had a new girlfriend and was really sad when she cheated on him because Chance really felt like he lost that connection with her? You know, these kids were his kids despite never meeting them. And it's just like this girl ruined everything for Chance. So now I'm going to let you hear that video where he's just sulking about it. And I just don't think it can be understated how weird it is, to me at least, to get into some online relationship with a woman and just almost immediately start referring to her kids as your kids. So much so that in this video where you're crying about her, that you're talking about her family and her kids, like, it just rubs me the wrong way. And I feel like if you know Chance's story and know what kind of predator he is, it'll make you feel the same exact way.
Let's go somewhere cool.
This video is for Kira Rose Grieve. The woman who I was supposed to marry. The woman who I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. Kira, I want to know why. Why'd you fucking do it? And for those of you that are reposting this, I want you guys to send this to her. I want her to see this. I want Kira and her family to see this. I want to know why you did it, Kira. Why'd you cheat on me? After I put my entire life, my career, on hold for you. Gave you everything I had. And more. Did everything I could to protect you. Did everything I could to be the best dad I could to. What made you fucking do it? Was it money? A place to live? What was it? Why'd you do it? And I want you to make a video or call me, or contact me, and tell me for yourself why you did it. I want the fucking goddamn truth.
So, like, I don't know ever if this is a troll or not with him. Obviously, I can't imagine any woman would get into a serious relationship with Chance, but women have gotten into serious relationships with Chance in the past. And so, just hearing him say this, being like, why did you cheat on me? Like, if this is a real woman, she probably just needed, Chance, stability, and a home, and money, the things you mentioned. And that's because you can't provide those things, considering all you do is sit in your attic and play video games all day and say that you're some world-famous music star who's getting robbed for all the millions he's owed. I could see why any woman would cheat on you, especially when you're making creepy things about how, you miss her kids. It's just, what? Like, really, like, take that, like, again, try to really, like, seep that in your brain. He's never met this woman's kids yet. They're his kids now. And, of course, here Chance is making demands saying, you need to call me. You need to make a video addressing me right now. And would you believe that this on screen is not a still image anymore? This is just the actual video. Like, Chance made this face for a very long time. He's talking again now, but, I mean, like, dude, no matter what relationship he gets in, after the fact, he's always like the same way. It's, F you owe me this, and explain this to me, and granted, all these, like, relationships end in disaster, but it's also because of the way Chance treats these real and fake women, depending on who they are, and it just shows his true character at the end of the day, and that he's really only in it to get closer to these women's kids for some reason, and it's worrying, and it's why people need to be aware of what this little bastard does. Later on in the video, you're gonna see he's still actively trying to talk to minors on Discord to this day.
What up, y'all? So I just have a real quick message here. What up, y'all? Just a super quick message before I have it to work.
1, 2, 3.
Do you think that you guys are stopping me by breaking my Xbox? No. You're not. Did you break a piece of my equipment? Like, did you actually break a piece of my equipment? Yeah. But you know what? I'm not even mad about it, bro. And you wanna know why I'm not mad? Because you guys forced me to do gaming on PC, which is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I've been wanting to do PC style gaming for a while now, bro. So, y'all ain't stop shit, homie.
And so did you hear that? Yes, it happened yet again. Chance got another Xbox bricked, and it's a glorious day for anyone who doesn't want to see him use that device to talk to kids on Fortnite or different games. And remember, this isn't the first time it happened to Chance. A few years back, some trolls sent him a kill stick, and he freaked out. But this time, he's staying cool, calm, and composed. He's like, listen, this time I've grown up, I've changed. Yes, you trolls may have gotten one up on me, but now I will go to PC gaming. You didn't stop anything, and I will handle this like an adult and react accordingly. And it's, you'd assume, right? You'd assume it'd be so much crazier. Like, just imagine how crazy it would be if somebody called Cyrax that sounded kind of like Marty's voice, despite Marty again being passed away, and Cyrax reacting like it was Marty calling him and freaking the fuck out because he thinks Marty was the one who took away his Xbox yet again. If that happened, we could talk, but guess we're gonna talk. So yeah, Chance was not mad at all, and he was taking this just like a man, you know? Not yelling at anybody, not screaming like a petulant child, and Sally definitely didn't need to walk into the room and scold him like said child. You know, Chance was gonna move on to bigger and better things, as he mentioned, like his PC gaming career, and my god, would it be a shame if the trolls took that too! But they did! They did, and Cyrax, again, was not having it. He got his PC all messed up, a bunch of Discord logs leaked, where it showed literally him talking to kids again, as I've mentioned for like the 5th time. Like, if you want to see some of these screenshots, really, over on William Gloryhole's channel, it's on his community wall. N-Word Boy has his whole archive of Cyrax's content up there, and Chance hates these guys, but not as much as he hates one Wance Chilkins, the man who for years now has been stealing his music and making millions of dollars on it. Now, Chance is aware, or at least he alleges, that this man is William Gloryhole. So, one of these days, a few days back, Chance decided to ring up old William and vent about the PC, about Wance Chilkins, and it was all recorded in this video here, and by God, have you not seen Chance this angry in a long time?
So, you mind telling me why it is that you think you have the right to do what you're doing to me, man? Because you know damn well you don't own any of those goddamn songs, bro. You know that. So why do you think that I don't deserve to live a normal life and actually make money off shit that I do that you and your boys steal from me? Why can't you just man the fuck up and admit that you're a thief, dude? I got you on both screenshot and on video, dude. So why don't you just man up and admit it? You steal my shit because you don't want me to make any money because you think I don't deserve happiness. Why is that? Because you and I both know that all your shit's a fucking lie, bro. It's all a goddamn fucking lie, and you know it, dude. You know I ain't actually out here talking to kids. Y'all are just trying to do that shit to make profit off of me, homeboy. That's all it is. Y'all want to make money off of my back for the rest of my life. Why is that? Man the fuck up and tell me why it is that you feel like you have the right to use me as a bartering chip to make money off me.
You gonna shut the up so I can answer you? It's because you talk to children, you piece of shit.
No, the fuck I don't, nigga. Where's your proof, bitch? It's all made up.
They just
It's
dumped
all
your
made
logs
up,
from
homeboy. I don't
Discord.
touch your boy.
They
Hey,
just dumped your
cocksucker.
logs from
Hey,
Discord.
boy, shut your bitch ass up, you fucking file-loving little freak. You're a bitch, boy.
So do you see why I can't cover him anymore? Like I'm not trying to victimize myself. Like, I used to love covering Chance, but this is why. Like, I can't do it anymore. YouTube's gonna see this and be like, fuck no. Fuck no. Like, do you hear him? Do you hear how many edits there just were? And, like, obviously, we're not gonna cut that out. That call is, like, wild, and there's still more left, but Chance just can't help himself. He has to immediately start dropping slurs. And why is that? Like, just call the guy, like, you're calling him a bitch. Like, that's fine, whatever. You know, you have to go to the hard R. Why? Why? It's because he's racist. He'll sit here and scream, I'm not racist. You're damn racist if that's the first insult you go to this guy when he pisses you off. This is crazy, man. And it's not like William's saying anything that's a lie either. All this info on Chance is legitimate, and he does not like it being out there. So his only rebuttal is to yell the most, like, heinous things he can at a person, because he knows no other way of going about it. He looks at it like, they're hurting me with something I did. I have to now respond with anything I can to try to hurt them as bad as they're making me feel right now. He never takes accountability or even tries to listen to what the other person is saying, despite it being true, and his only instinct was to respond with something absolutely vile, which he does all the time.
William, shut your ass up, bitch.
Come try it, little man. Come try it.
Hey, you know damn good and well that I ain't doing shit. And guess what, bitch? I am proving time and time and time and time again that I'm not doing shit.
We've proven that you
Shut your
girls.
piece of white trash, white trash, white trash. You know damn good and well why you're doing it, William. You know damn good and well why you're doing it, boy.
I'm not the one talking to children, Chance.
Shut up. You know damn well I ain't talking to kids. That's your narrative that you're using to with me.
Those are your Discord logs, Chance, not mine.
That's your narrative, bro. That's your made-up narrative.
Can we just talk about how it's nothing new that, like, these allegations are out there? He's trying to act like William is spinning this narrative that's getting Chance so much hate when, you know, we've seen these your turn cutie text logs for years now. We saw it when Chance said, I'm 30 but I look 14. These are not things that people are spinning to make Chance look bad. They look bad because they are bad. And the new screenshots of you talking to a 16-year-old girl, I don't know why you need to slide into a 16-year-old's DMs, but that's what he's doing now. And when called out, he acts like a big tough guy and will yell things like, shut your mouth and things. And it's like, dude, like, you're being called out for being a creep. You don't have any standing here to act like a big tough guy, especially when you are Cyrax, a known not big tough guy. But he'll do it anyway, and he's doing it here with William, and he's done it every single time one of these allegations has come to light. And it's like I mentioned earlier, he loves saying the most heinous things to people, and he also loves being angry and loud while doing it. So you're either going to get the really racist Cyrax, or the really racist and loud Cyrax. We're getting the latter here. But he hung up that phone call with William, and then shortly after decided to call him right back. And I mean, it didn't get any better.
William, and this is my warning to you right now, little boy. Stop stealing my shit, or I will take legal action against you and all your little friends. You understand that?
Take legal action. Take it.
Shut your
Do
bitch
it.
up. Shut your mouth, boy.
Come make me shut my mouth, boy.
Shut your bitch ass up.
Is it
You
time
ain't
for your
tough.
cookies and
So,
milk?
why don't you admit that you steal my shit? I got you on video evidence and on screenshot admitting that you steal my shit. So why don't you just man up and admit it?
Okay, I'll make you a deal. I'll man up and say that when you man up and say that you talk the fucking shit.
I ain't doing shit, cause you
Then
know
I ain't doing shit either. Then I ain't doing
Oh,
it either.
really? Then I'll see you in court.
Don't cry to Sally. Mommy! Mommy! They're mean to me! Mommy!
So, like I've mentioned it before, but Chance is yelling about wanting to sue him for stealing Chance's music that Chance has stolen from other artists. Like, every one of his streams is him singing over, like, tracks of metal songs. And let me tell you something, you can't hear a word Chance is saying because he just amps up the song so loud and his voice is so weak. And something else that may have just been the elephant in the room was the picture on screen that entire time of Chance in his new Golden Knights helmet. That, like, it's not a hockey thing, by the way, but it's just a golden hat helmet thing that's all, like, raggedy. Kind of looks like Rey Mysterio as well. I don't even know what it is, but Chance has it on, and he looks phenomenal. I think we can all agree that out of all the masks he's chosen, like the one at the beginning of the video with the X on it, he also had like a Ronin samurai mask, because he's also trying to go under the name Ronin now. Ronin, the Troll Hunter. He's got a bunch of different names and a bunch of different masks, and he's been showing them all off. And I mean, this one though, this one is the cream of the crop, and I don't think he should ever take it off. So at this point, Chance's Xbox is bricked, his PC is broken, he has lost all rights to his music, and it's not a good time to be Chance Wilkins. So Cyrax posted a whole bunch of more sad streams where he sits there and sulks about the trolls, talks about wanting to leave the internet for good, complains and deflects, gives nuggets of wisdom that no human in their right mind should take. And he wants you to know, once and for all, he is done with the trolling nonsense. There will be no more trolls in his chat, and the troll hunter will prevail. We'll see.
I should make a very quick announcement. Starting today, early in the morning, that all trolls that come into my channel will be banned. Whether you're just talking shit, banter talk, you know, whatever kind of trolling you're doing, it does not matter to me. Starting today, all trolls are going to be banned. I do not care what level of trolling you're doing, whether you're bashing on me, whether you're bashing on my channel, or whatever it is that you're doing, you will be banned. Because I, quite frankly, am tired of dealing with the troll shit. I am not a lol cow, I am not a horror cow, or whatever it is you guys call those people. I am not one of them. I've never been one of them. Yes, there may be more of you than there are me, but guess what? I have some of the best moderators on the planet that will take care of that for me. And you guys seem to forget that my moderators do not fuck around. They do not screw around. They are very serious about their job. So I suggest if you don't want to get banned, you stop the fucking troll shit. You stop fucking sitting there attacking me. Saying that I'm a pedophile, that I'm this, that I'm that I suck, and this, that, and the other. Knock that shit off. Because I'm trying to build a community of good people that want to see me win, who I want to see win, and all that stuff. So I suggest if you don't want to be banned, just be chill, man. Be cool with people.
So I don't know if you guys heard, but apparently the troll ban starts today. You know, before today, Chance just let trolling run rampant. He didn't care what you said in his chat. But after today, no more of that. Chance was always cool with the trolling, he let it slide, but now he's really putting his foot down after all these years. The way he goes about this, like, hey guys, it's gonna stop, and now it never stops. And he tries to sound so confident that his mod team is one of the top mod teams in the world. They take their job very, very seriously. These people who mod for Cyrax are in no way buddy trolls. They are people who have quit their job to solely dedicate themselves to ridding Cyrax's chat of any and all troll activity, and my god, they should be commended for it. But again, really, I can't imagine how many times I've heard him say this, that trolling will no longer be allowed. Like, he's never allowed it. From day one that people started messing with him, that was his big thing, that trolling, A1, biggest rule in the book, that is off limits. The most heinous thing a person can do is be a troll in Cyrax's eyes. And so he needs to get them all out of his chat so they can't dare bring up that he's gotten caught talking to kids and, like, you know, choking his grandmom and getting arrested for assault because he, like, hit some guy with a baseball bat out front of his house. Those are things that should not be mentioned. And if you do mention them, Cyrax's mod team will swoop in like hawks and just take you out. Like, they are on the ball. And what's sad is that a lot of times these mods really are active in there, banning people to make Chance feel better. But what? Like, what? Like, I think one of his mods is King Cobra's ex-girlfriend, Jessica. Like, don't quote me on that, but I think it is. But he's not just banning trolls from chat. He's not just, like, you know, ranting and raving about his Xbox. He's also letting the trolls know that he is better than them, and he is above them, and he will be so much more, like, famous and successful than they could ever be. And the person he chooses to call out in this video is Marty. Now, again, knowing what we know now, seems pretty odd Cyrax is saying all this, but just remember, in his head, Marty is alive and well.
Over the last few days, I've been checking a lot of stuff out, to say the least. You know, I've been checking these out, been looking into stuff, and honestly, dude, it's funny to me at how people seem to think that I'm this awful lowlife with no views, no future at all in YouTube or any social media. But, here's the thing about that. Let's analyze everything here for a second, shall we? Let's analyze everybody in the locale community and that are either past, whether they're past or alive. Let's analyze these individuals outside of myself for a second. Take, for example, Music Biz Marty. One of the main catalysts likes to run his mouth and bark a lot. Same with William Gloryhole, another barker.
Already forgot.
But what's funny to me is this. You don't see Marty with imagery of him being put everywhere, do you? See, Marty doesn't have things that I have going for me. Marty never had things going for him the way that I do. See, I have actual tribute artists covering my songs. all over the world. Don't believe me? Look it up. You got the tribute artist, Young Cyrax. You have several other people around the world covering my music. I have action figures dedicated to me. I'm in fucking video games, bro. I have characters inspired by me, made after me. Hell, I myself am actually a character in some video games that fans have made over the years. I have freaking action figures made of me.
3, 4.
I am well known worldwide. What does Marty have? Nothing. What does William have? Nothing. Now, is it true that I've made some mistakes along my way? On my journey, is it true that I've made mistakes? Yeah. Some worse than others, some not so worse than others. But, regardless of my mistakes, I've worked my ass off to get here. I've worked my ass off, and even the trolls cannot deny that I have worked my ass off day and fucking night to get here. Were there times where I raged out and got pissed off? Absolutely. Just like any normal person would. Every person has their breaking point, dude. Every single person has their breaking points. And I've hit mine several times.
Let's go.
And that's not my fault. That's just human nature. That's what humans do when you get pissed off and you hit your breaking point. You tend to flip out. And you do shit that you might regret, and you do shit that you might not regret. Depends on the person.
So he's gloating pretty hard there for a while, right? Like, I have action figures made of me. And what he's referencing there is rapper Danny Brown has like an action figure of Cyrax on his desk, and Cyrax loves that. I sadly may have attributed to putting him in a video game with my lolcow wrestling, so I apologize for that. Didn't think he'd like it, knowing that he's been getting beaten down by Daniel Larson, World of T-Shirts, guys like Andy Ditch for the past few weeks. Hasn't been a good time in lolcow wrestling for Cyrax. But he's letting the trolls know that they have nothing. He knows about these people's lives, apparently, and just knows that their lives are exponentially worse than his. And I don't really know who you are out in this world, but if you got a worse life than Cyrax, I mean, fuck, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Now, I really can only name like 2 people who have a worse life than Chance, and it's Daniel Larson, as I already mentioned, and, that might actually be it. It might just be Daniel, and that's because he's in federal prison. But when he gets out, at least, he has his freedom, but he's also a creep, too. And all I can tell you is this. Chance sitting here and bragging about his life, about the songs made of him and all that, like, he hates this shit 9 times out of 10. He'll be like, those songs don't, they don't, they're not up to my standard as a musician. The action figure, I didn't approve of that. But now that he can use it as a way to, like, poo-poo the trolls, he's absolutely gonna do it, because any chance he can get to be like, I am above you, that's what he's gonna do. Don't believe me? Well, just look at the title of this stream over on Edward Boy's channel. I am levels above the trolls. Like, he's so confident that he's so far above anyone who's ever messed with him. And he'll tell you that. It doesn't matter what these trolls have done in their lives. The second they do a bit of trolling, they are scum of the earth. The scum between Chance's toes, that's what the trolls are. And he automatically is just so far above them for the hard work he's put in. The hard work he mentions that the trolls even give him credit for, which I've never seen once. I've never seen one person go, wow, that Chance Wilkins is a really hard-working guy. And yet here's Chance saying that he's heard from trolls that they're patting him on the back going, Chance, goddamn, you're working your ass off. You've screamed over at least 7 Linkin Park songs today. Like, we couldn't be more proud of you. It's videos like this that show just how delusional Chance is. There's a certain thing about being optimistic about your life, but then there's this, where you're just lying. And so you'd think, right, with all this winning chances doing, he must have like some bustling internet career ahead of him. He's not going anywhere no time soon.
Alright, I've got some shit I gotta get off my chest, and I'm gonna say, and quite frankly, I don't give a who doesn't like it. Y'all know y'all shit. Every fucking you. All y'all do is fucking documenting my life, trying to make me into the next Chris Chan, because I will never be the next Chris Chan. Ever. Quite frankly, I'm fucking tired of my life being documented. I just want to be left alone, dude. That's all I want. Is to be left alone. All y'all always breaking my shit, hacking into my shit, doing this, doing that. I'm tired of it.
It's wild when he says you're not gonna turn me into the next Chris Chan, because really, you know, the passage of time has not been kind to Chance, and he is one of the closest things to what Chris Chan was. You know, Chris Chan was a product of his own time, but you know, Chance, you're a product of yours, and really, I don't think people have made you the next Chris Chan. They made you the first Chance Wilkins, whereas Chris Chan was this goofy comic book writer who was a sexual degenerate that people trolled, pretended to be his girlfriend. They would get these like funny clips out of him. You get trolled and people pretend to be minors and you talk to them, and then the entire internet knows you're a creep, and that's the Chance Wilkins method.
Now, if you guys have noticed recently, I've started to wear a mask. Which is this mask right here. And you want to know why I wear this mask when I do my music now? Let me tell you why. Because music is my escape away from the real world. Music is my fucking therapy. Music is my escape away from the awful, fucked up shit online has done to me. That is my escape. That is the only thing I have left. And let me tell you right now, there is no way in hell I am letting my music go. That is my only escape.
So, like, do you remember at the beginning of the video where he said the mask was because he was, like, proud of being a monster or a freak and being what people always made him to be? It was supposed to be a thing of, like, pride for Cyrax, and now he's like, you know what? No. No, I use it because I'm afraid. And to be fair, I bet you that is part of the reason for why he uses it, but I'll tell you the exact reason. It's because Cyrax has had a thing for years now of trying to run away from his past. Every time people bring up his allegations, and they're not even allegations, like people have seen the proof of this stuff, and Cyrax will run to a new channel, change his name to something like DJ Otak, and be like, yo, what's up, it's DJ Otak, totally not Cyrax, but it always gets found out to be Cyrax. And this video just screams to me he's upset because he got caught again. He was wearing a mask, trying to go under the name Ronin on a completely different channel, but of course you see the same bedroom, and you just see a guy wearing a mask who sounds identical to Cyrax, and it's like, oh shit, I wonder who this is, and he gets found out time and time again. I also think it's a good time to mention that right above Cyrax's head, like look on the screen right now, you see in his closet back there, that thing above his head, like sitting on what looks like a washer maybe, that's a thing of bedbug spray, and they have no problem just spraying that all around Chance's room because of the, well, bedbug problem. And you look at his head, it's not hard to see where they're probably chomping on, and just wow, just the fact that that's there, bedbug spray, visible on camera, and Ed's probably spraying that shit down every night in there to keep them at bay, it's gotta be toxic in there.
You know, it's funny. You guys sit here and evil as if it's funny, but it's not. So I am telling Kiwi Farms right now to take down everything about me, or I will legally take action. Straight up. I will take action against you, Kiwi Farms, and I will take legal action against you. Because what you guys are doing is supporting something evil. You guys support trolls, but you're basically demons in human form.
Chance decides to threaten the entire Kiwi Farms by saying if they do not take down everything on him, that he will sue them for all they're worth, And let me just say, that sounds like a great idea, Chance. I couldn't see that backfiring in any way. And of course you will be successful and take down your threat because you're just such a big winner. And you know, he's given this fucking threat to so many people in the past that he will sue them, he will come at them with everything he's got, and of course nothing ever happens. I really don't think Chance has ever followed up on one single threat he's ever made unless it's to do something to himself.
But William, you and your little friends need to off. All of them. You and your little army of goons need to off. I am tired of doing what you want. If you don't leave me I will expose your friend N-word boy to the whole world. But quite honestly, dude, you just need to off and go the fuck somewhere else. I'm tired of dealing with your shit. You need to leave me alone. I don't want to be bothered by you or anyone. I am not doing anything wrong. I am minding my own business, working on my music, working on my artwork, and hanging out with my friends. That is all I am doing. But y'all want to sit out here and be like, oh, he's talking the fuck I ain't. We all know that all those screenshots are propaganda. That's all it is. It's a bullshit ass narrative. And quite frankly, I'm tired of it. I shouldn't have to run and hide. I should be allowed to live my life.
For the 1,000,000th time I've seen him do this, he is begging the trolls to leave him alone, let him live his life. He's not doing anything wrong, and the problem there is that every single time Chance thinks that the trolls have, like, fucked off and he won't have to worry about them anymore, he goes right back online and he starts talking to minors again. So do not let this guy fool you. When he says, let me live my life, he means that he wants to be able to do whatever he wants and talk to whoever he wants, no matter whether it's legal or not, and he doesn't want these trolls to, like, give him shit for it. That's the problem. It's not that he's doing anything wrong in his mind, it's that the trolls are calling him out for it, and he thinks if they went away, his life would be fine, and nobody would get hurt. Well, of course, except the people he's talking to, but that doesn't matter to Chance. All that matters is the trolls and their mean words to him, which at the end of the day, yeah, they're pretty goddamn blunt with you, but they're just telling you the truth, and the truth is that you need to get off the internet, but you'll never listen to that, and videos like this make it clear, despite this video being your goodbye to the internet yet again.
I am tired of fighting this goddamn war that I never asked to be in the first place. I never asked to be in a war that I never wanted to be in. I never asked to be drugged into the troll community. I never asked to be a lockout. I was forced to be made one, and I don't like it. Therefore, I, Chance Wilkins, am walking out of this goddamn community. And let me tell you, this is the last video any of you are gonna see from me for a very, very long time. Because I'm done with YouTube. I'm sick of it.
The tale of Cyrax on YouTube ended once and for all. He walked away from the troll community and really just focused on his music and became a much better person. And yes, I'm serious this time. For once, I'm not messing with you guys. Like, he's really doing it, he's improving, and he totally didn't upload a video the exact next day.
So I'm gonna say this, and I don't care who likes it and who doesn't like it. I'm tired of this bullshit ass cancel culture. I truly am. I'm fucking tired of it. Y'all pathetic like William Glory Hole and N-word boy, you dumbass trying to run your narrative so you can make a quick fuck off me is dumb. I've already proven that I don't talk to kids. I've already proven everything I need to prove. I don't owe you or anybody a goddamn thing. I don't owe you shit. Because one, I'm not getting off the internet. You're not making me go nowhere. And guess what, even if you do shut me down and get me booted off my computer, guess what, assholes? I have a backup of Windows right here. I know how to repair my shit. You ain't doing jack.
He changes his mind so quickly, it's insane. Like, this has to be less than 24 hours later from his goodbye internet, I'm leaving the troll community video, and now he's like, you will never make me leave the internet. Like, fuck that. I will stay here forever. And you know what? I even have an extra USB drive. Like, I can go on Windows if I want to. You will not stop me. And I love how he started the video by saying that he's tired of cancel culture. Like, Chance, you are not a victim of cancel culture. You're somebody who is people do not like you because of what you've said to kids. Like, it's that simple. It's really that simple. Like, you're not like some guy who's been beaten down and like told all these things because maybe you said a bad word in the past. No, you're a predator. That's completely different. And predators have always been looked upon with shame, and people have wanted to cast them out from society. That's nothing new, and that's not an effect of cancel culture.
And as for the fake people out there that claim they're a fan and want the help, where the fuck are y'all at when I need y'all?
3, 4,
And it's funny. I got a lot of people out there claiming to be my friend, but very few people like CIA hole. My little brother Ethan, my boy Roger, and a few others have actually had the balls to step up and speak out. It's dumb. Y'all sit there and say, oh, but I don't want to lose my job. No one gives a about losing your job. What happened to loyalty to friends? What happened to being loyal to your friends? Because that's what real friends do. We stick up for each other when we need it most. Anyone else on this?
We're so anti-American.
No, we're going to Germany. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Are we sure we're not just fleeing because we can't survive in the system because we haven't put in a single ounce to learn?
We can absolutely survive in the system.
This doesn't look like surviving in the system. This is a pile of debt.
I'm not in the belief that money should exist.
What are we doing here? You're not a little victim at everything. You have a little thing called f***ing doing shit sometimes.
We need 12 grand by September. That's when we're getting out of here.
Good thing we don't believe in money. Download my new Simpler Budget app today and take control of your money once and for all.
Hello, I'm Elliot. I'm 24 years old.
Hi, I'm Mateo. I'm also 24 years old. We're from Portland, Oregon.
And this is Financial Audit. Hello, I'm Elliot. I'm 24 years old.
Hi, I'm Mateo. I'm also 24 years old. We're from Portland, Oregon.
And this is Financial Audit.
Thanks for coming over from Portland. You look like you're from Portland. You got the full man bun really stuck in 2012 there.
He does my hair. He chooses what the hairstyle is.
Yeah, that was me.
It's really stuck in 2012 there.
Thank you.
We're starting a burger place with like metal chairs and stuff soon. What do we do for a living? Let's start with you.
I'm an auditor.
Who do you audit?
It's inventory at Intel warehouse.
Yeah, I work in the lab at Intel. I test the systems before we send out.
So both at Intel?
Yeah, I got him a job at Intel.
Yeah. Really? Okay. What do you make? Let's start there.
I make...
Do you want me to answer this one?
Yeah.
Why?
I do the money in the relationship.
But you don't... You know what you make.
I make like $20 an hour.
He makes.
You don't even know your hourly.
No, not really.
Wait, well, how are you accepting a job, trying to negotiate for raises, looking for a comparable or a competitor job, trying to make more money? How are we doing that without knowing what we're making out of the gate?
Intel has to do good enough for us to even approach the raises topic.
I can't even ask about a raise.
Yeah, but you can find, there's other companies in Portland than Intel. Another job can be found. You need to know if you're getting paid competitively for your space, but you don't know that if you don't know what you're making. Okay. Fine. What is made?
He makes $19 an hour. I make $20.50 an hour.
You said 20. Okay. And yours is hourly what?
$20.50 an hour. As
so
contractors to Intel.
Now, how many hours a week are we working?
40, exactly.
Full time.
Okay. So let's hit in our account. Shared account?
Yeah, we have joint finances.
You guys
40.
are married?
Yes, we're married.
How long has it been?
A few months.
Yeah.
We got married back in December.
This is fresh.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Okay, so what hits the account on a monthly basis?
About $4,800 a month after taxes. We get paid weekly.
1,400. I had 5,560. Was there overtime here and there?
If a month is like 5 weeks, then we get paid 5 times in the month.
Which it may have been at that time.
Yeah.
There may be a holiday.
No, we don't get holiday pay.
Okay.
We get paid
You don't
on
even know
holidays. We get paid on holidays, but there's no special pay adjustment.
Okay,
It's just
I see.
8 hours of
Yeah.
pay.
Okay, for what it's worth, you guys have been together for only 3 months, so would we know the entire
We've been together for longer than 3 months.
We've been married.
Well, how long have we combined our finances?
Since August of last year.
Okay, so some catching up. I am definitely allowing a part of grace of not knowing the household finances, but why are we just like putting it on one person's shoulders and the other one just doesn't care? Like, why are we doing it this way?
It's not so much not care, but me being involved in the money would be more of a burden, I think, for you than otherwise.
It's like doing a task yourself versus teaching someone how to do the task. It takes longer.
It would take longer, but it would make sure that you're not the only one doing the task, and if you can't do the task in that moment, you can make sure the person that's also your equal in life can do the task.
He has access to all of the documents as well as all of the passwords for all of our accounts, so if I were to drop dead, he could hand it to, like, my dad and figure it out that
Also,
way.
maybe I'll learn it over time. But
yeah.
You disagree?
Well, it's certainly not been in the plans. So.
How long were we together before?
We got married after a year of being together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. And we were planning on getting married a lot later than that, but current events kind of
spurred things along.
Yeah, we were planning to get married in like September
of this year. Yeah.
Something happened in Portland that I'm not aware of?
No, not in Portland, just
in the nation. So we.
Are they deporting trans people?
No.
Well, not yet.
Oh. Wasn't aware of that one.
Yeah.
But there's definitely been some executive orders that made it harder to leave the country as a trans person.
Harder to leave, really? Tell me.
Because of it's related to passports. Because of the executive order he signed about like there only being 2 genders, people with passports that have
a different gender
marker on it, they can't renew. No, the getting married quicker part was because on November 5th, when
Trump was nominated to be president, we had to move up our time.
Project 2025, and it's not good if they go through with that for us. So
it makes living in America very difficult.
Is this going to be a very political conversation?
Very much.
A little bit,
yeah. Okay, I'm not going to give my opinion on anything. I'm just going to ask questions.
That's
because I want everyone and anyone from any walks of life, whether you are right or left, I don't care. Get your finances taken care of. Get your shit together. I don't give a. So I just ask questions. Okay, so you got spooked by the election. So
yeah, we had plans to leave for Germany in 2026.
Germany.
Yeah.
You know, they just elected their first right-wing government in the last couple decades.
One of the right-wing parties is
also, like, the most
part of their government,
of the Western European countries, isn't it?
We were watching the elections because of that.
Besides Italy.
There's a lot going on.
The rest of the parties in the coalition are like refusing to work with AFD, so there's hope there. But with
there's no hope with GDP growth.
Well, yeah. We're
going for different reasons.
More scared here, but
yeah,
the marriage being
that happened to you?
Not to me specifically.
We're leaving for Germany for our building future purposes.
So that's what we're talking about. I'm trying to get you guys to Germany.
Yes, yeah. Your job is.
I'm going in blind here, y'all.
Yeah, your job is to fix our budget so that we have enough in the bank for when we leave for Germany. We're going so that.
How much do you need to live in Germany? I've never calculated the need for living in Germany. They have more of a social safety net, but you guys wouldn't be citizens, so I don't know what you qualify for out of the gate.
For getting a visa, yeah, we need
Europe isn't very
euros.
12,000 euros.
They don't use dollars.
Yeah.
Europe isn't very pro-immigration right now. I don't know if it's different.
So for qualified individuals, they're very interested. Germany's
Portland, you guys are making kind of low though. So what? Are you guys qualified individuals?
Yeah,
What do we consider qualified individuals?
I work in a technology position, and so
Yeah, but
they have
on
an
a lower-
expedited visa process for that.
What's your job again?
I fix up computer systems. I do some basic programming
Why
stuff.
do you get paid pretty low for the Portland area? Portland's expensive.
Because we're contractors.
Because we're contractors with Intel.
But there are contractors that do make a lot of money though sometimes.
If you're higher up.
Yeah.
But for most of the
24. I have to remember
yeah,
what 24.
Yeah,
Okay.
24. I'm still finishing my degree, so.
Undergrad?
Yeah, undergrad, bachelor's.
How long have you been in?
I started college at 16, getting my 2-year, and then I had to wait for FAFSA to kick in because my parents were in that sweet spot where they made too much but not enough to help with college. So, last year I finally hit old enough that FAFSA was like, sure, we'll give you money, and here I am finishing my 3rd and then 4th year next year.
Okay.
But,
and you? Qualified?
No. I
qualified via experience, maybe work experience.
Yeah, up until recently we were going with a different plan for me because I have a chance with the derivative citizenship for Germany, but unfortunately that's like a 2-year process and we don't have time for that anymore.
Okay. It's gonna. Sometimes I joke about Europe all the time. It makes it sound like I hate it. I actually love it. I love how they build their communities as walkable communities, a lot of stuff like that. I feel like you're gonna have a relatively decent chance getting there because there's been a massive brain drain from Europe because their economy is not keeping up across the board. Their wages aren't keeping up across the board.
Well,
their
it's about to be the same here, so.
Their social safety nets are going dry. About the same here. We would have to drop like 40% to make up for the gains since 2009 that they've never been able to make. So.
Oh yeah, 2009 when I was 9 years old, it was a great time to get into the stock market.
That is exactly what Europe's economy, GDP, is still, by the way, where it was in 2009.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where you're going. Okay.
Cost of living's also a lot lower though.
So what happens when economies don't grow?
We'd be able to afford an education over there, which is kind of the most important thing.
With executive orders.
Getting your degree though. Again, I like to make little European jokes. It's fine. You move there if you want. It's okay. I'm just saying it's probably easier to move there because a lot of qualified individuals have left Europe because they don't make as much there. It's harder to make ahead. Things are not going as well there economically. So. It should be easier for you to go there is all I'm saying. So if you want to go there, I'm down to help people get to their goals regardless. Let's get you there.
I pay $17,000 a year for college right now.
Yeah.
And in Europe it is $12,000 per year for rent, groceries, cost of living items, and then also their tuition is included in that 12,000.
Dude, don't get me wrong. It's really nice when everything is subsidized. It feels really nice on the other end for the person that's going there. Whether or not that's sustainable since their economies aren't growing, who knows? So if your kids can get that, good for them.
I mean,
I don't know how that'll work.
We're not going permanently. We're going until I finish my degree, and then hopefully after the administration is over.
Yeah, assuming things don't get worse.
Yeah, so assuming he doesn't go for that 3rd term, then we'll come back. I'll have my degree.
That would be constitutional, but
it's not. But that hasn't stopped him before.
Yeah. So far.
Okay. I feel like you guys. Okay. This is a very big life choice to make just from an election.
We had planned
whether or not I
to the
like
election.
who would have won either way. I don't base my entire life off of an election. I get you're in a more unique situation, but you're also in Portland. It's like the most...
Originally, the plan was he was going to get his derivative citizenship, and then tuition for him in Germany would be free. And
tuition, is that the big focus? Is that are we really just using the whole election as an excuse?
Not the whole election. It's more
really seems like we're landing on this degree thing, which let's get you to the goal.
He cannot effectively get a degree in America.
Why?
Unless it's free.
Well, it's just
that's kind of bullshit. I can go to Austin Community College right now and semester take like 8 credit hours for like a couple $1,000.
Yeah, the debt incurred is the issue here.
Yeah,
that's already existing?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll get into
why'd you get into debt?
I wouldn't really. Well, that's.
I feel like that was a choice, and sometimes we deal with the consequences of the choices that we
definitely
made.
Was. hold on, sorry. Are we moving on to the what?
Yeah, are we
what's
getting
current
into why you
focus?
have student loans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are we doing German?
I don't know. I feel like I'm just along for the ride right now. I don't know what's happening. I want to get you guys to the goal. I like to make little cheeky comments about Europe. Listen, I'm not pro or anti-Europe. I don't care. They can do whatever they want. We can do whatever we want. I'm not pro or anti this last election. I don't give a I just want to invest and make money. That's what I like to do, and I want to get people out of debt. So, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. Let's get you to your goals. Let's talk about student loans. I know it's something we all want to avoid talking about, but if your private student loans are crushing you, Y-Refi might be exactly what you need. They don't rely on your credit score alone. They look for borrowers who have the desire and ability to repay. That's a game changer in a market where most lenders only see a number. Interest rates under 6% guaranteed. That's practically a unicorn in student lending. Plus, they offer structured payment plans to lower your monthly bill, and even a co-signer release program so your mom or dad can step off the hook. Y-Refi is known for personal service. No faceless call centers. You get a dedicated rep who actually cares about your progress. They've got a 4.6-star rating on Google, which tells you people genuinely like working with them. So if your private loans are burying you, it's time to reach out. Y-Refi wants to help you climb out of debt, not push you further in it. Check them out at yrefi.com/hammer. That is YREFY.com/hammer, or call 888 YREFI-78. That is 888 YREFI-78. Break free from the high interest trap and get your finances under control once and for all. What does life look like today if our big goal is to get to Germany, which probably isn't necessarily cheap because there is going to be moving, we're going to be trying to settle. Are you going to get accepted into their college programs before you move? Like,
yes.
What's
So
the plan
for
here?
a German
What's
visa,
that process?
if you're going for a student visa, a university has to accept you into their program, and you apply to a degree
done that?
specifically. Yeah. Yeah. I'm waiting on the application response.
And if we don't get it,
then we're going for work visas, and I will.
But then that negates the big college part.
It negates the big college part, but I'm going to online school right now, and so with that I can do it from anywhere.
What do we hate about community college? What's wrong with like going for a couple $1,000 a semester?
Once you've got your 2-year, community college doesn't.
No, I know, but for you.
For me, I don't think it's a good idea for me to continue doing a college here in the States when it costs so much money.
A couple $1,000 a semester.
I went to PCC when I was much younger, and that was a disaster. So I would, if we were going to Germany, I flunked out. It was during
Is that the community college's fault, or
no? And it's
what's going to be different in Germany when you can't? Can you speak German?
Yes, he can.
But the
okay.
So
the difference this time around is that he is now medicated for ADHD.
That also.
So that doesn't change going to community college now for a couple $1,000. What?
The cost in Germany is going to be cheaper than if you were to go here. It's roughly 300 euros.
300 a semester?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I thought you gave me a different number.
No. I spend here today $17,000 a year.
Well, what did you say it would cost over there? You said everything included?
Oh, yeah. So rent and groceries and all of that, the German government wants you to have 12,000 euros.
That's what they recommend so that you stay afloat.
Oh,
so you don't.
Sure. You guys are dual income household, though. We can kind of support each other as we go through.
Yeah. So long as the education department remains solvent and FAFSA continues to exist.
Also, if I'm not mistaken, don't they recommend having more like 12,000 in savings?
Hey, do you know what?
Well, that's what it would be. It would be 12,000 in savings.
Oh, before going in?
Yes, before going in.
I assume if you're on the show, you will probably have immense debt, and the savings is okay. I'm still confused of the anti-community college thing, because it's going to cost money to get over there.
Yeah.
And then there's also going to be likely a loss of potential income as well. Because again, usually when you get a lower cost of living area, you get lower income.
You make less over there.
How it works. I don't know if we know this or not, but does that not concern us?
I'm not. So, if we stayed in the States, I wouldn't be interested in going to college here. But if we went to, because of the cost and because
$1,000 a semester? Community college?
It's
the median person in the United States makes like, what is it, like $50,000 a year? I think a couple of thousand a semester is worth the investment.
We already make close to that amount.
Well, you don't make the median household. That's for an individual.
I don't see the there's no incentive for me to go to college here because I don't feel like I could go the distance to get like the level of degree that I would want if I was going into college.
College in Germany also only takes 3 years instead of the 4 here, so it's less time.
Is it all
going through
year?
the slog. It's most of the year.
Okay, so
There's
take
like,
summer semesters and make it 3 years then.
Well, and I could actually go into, like, I could go further than
what do you want to go into?
I'd like to do something with, like, languages or history. So
we're not going with the intent to make money.
If we're going to Germany, we're going with the intent to make money. For me, at least, he's debated getting a full auditor degree instead of just the work
That's
experience.
not what was just said.
No, I would need to find a way to make the cost of going into college worth the effort, because I would want to come out with a job that I could actually stay in forever.
I don't know what that means to you. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
No one stays in one job forever. No one does that.
He's the kind of person who would. He finds the things that he likes and he does them forever.
What if it's an industry that nobody's hiring?
He will find the one job that
maybe. I think there's going to be 1,000 other people, usually in those more artsy.
Nah, he's just better.
He's making $19 an hour.
I mean, I have established myself very well in the team in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, he has essentially created the position he now occupies.
For $19 an hour.
For $19 an hour.
Yeah, I do not get paid for the work that I do, that's for sure.
But he's building the experience so that he can transfer to a better job later.
I guess we have little gifts for you, though. Since you're so head set, we just wanted to give you a little preemptive welcome gift, so... I think we have those.
What do we got?
Because we're doing, you're making,
What do we got?
Oh, it's already here. Authentic German food.
Yo!
Straight from the source.
Yo! That's exciting.
Very exciting.
There
you go.
Are we allowed to eat this on set?
Sure.
Hell yeah.
Sure, as long as you're not smacking into the camera.
No, we're gonna get an ASMR segment.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can't do ASMR.
What is it called? Mukbang?
I don't know. We're giving you guys a sausage to eat because we know you like that.
Well, thank you,
now,
Caleb.
that's reasonable sized.
Okay. Well, there you go. You get your cheap college and kind of cheap healthcare.
Can we get some water?
Oh,
you can gargle some spit.
I got you.
Okay, listen. I was about to jump into the finances, but Lindsay, our master of tea, really wants to hear more about your origin story.
Yes.
I guess. And then we'll jump into the finances here.
Oh, you're still chewing. Okay, so we met at a different job several years ago. We worked at a company that made the machines that Intel uses to make their computer parts. We were both dating different people at the time. He was engaged.
Engaged?
To someone else?
Yeah. What is this? You're 24. You're now. When was this?
2021?
Yeah, 2021.
Okay. There's a lot of engagements and marriages and just before 25, but okay, sure.
Live fast, eat ass.
Interesting.
Yeah, so he was engaged, I was in a long-term relationship, and then...
and you were only at that job for like a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
I stuck around, but...
I stayed there because I was waiting for a different position to open up, and then
sure.
Bill's still got to get paid.
Yeah.
Go on. I met this knucklehead, and then
knucklehead. Well, okay.
He got himself laid off after I had left. No.
I was one of the last ones to be laid off. I will let you know.
Yeah. Some executive order essentially shut down half of their warehouses, so he was out of a job. We were both with women at the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Both what?
With women, like dating women. His fiance was a woman. My longtime relationship was also a woman, believe it or not.
I believe it.
And then, yeah, so we both leave those jobs, and we stay in contact by going on double dates with our partners, watching various horror movies and whatnot.
So the beginning of our relationship started with us going on double dates together with our partners.
Just hanging out as friends.
Yeah. And then when I ended up like breaking up with, well, I didn't break up with my ex-fiance. I'm sure she'd be in the comments about that if I lied about that. But when we broke up, and I were planning on going on a double date together with our partners.
In December of 2023, I asked him if we could become partners, I guess.
Okay, where do you think your Hammer financial score is in the world of 0 to 10? Kill me now.
0.
No. The online thing said it was like a 1 or a 2, right?
If you want to take that online thing, it is in the description below, or go to KLHammer.com. Okay, so we broke up and found each other. Okay. Well, I just told that story in 5 seconds. All right, Capital One Venture. What is going on here?
I don't know. You tell me. What do we got?
That would be.
You've got it right there.
You're the finance one of the relationship, I was told.
Yeah. I make sure we pay it every month.
Pay what?
Yeah, that's your
off?
card.
No,
not pay it off. That balance went up rather quickly.
Why? What is going on with this card?
When we were still friends, we decided to go on a trip to Greece.
As friends?
Yes, as friends.
Yeah, as friends.
Believe it or not, I haven't seen the movie Mamma Mia, so I didn't understand what.
I believe it. I haven't seen it either.
Going to Greece with
I tried to explain to him that going to Greece with someone that you've more or less only spent a little bit of time with has romantic connotations.
A little bit of time. We've been friends for a year and a half at this point.
Alright, I get it. We touch each other's butts. I don't care. I don't care.
No, we went as friends. My mom told me that if I was going to go to Greece anyways, I had already had the trip planned, that I should get a travel card for it so I could get the miles. And I was like, that sounds great. I'll get the card.
Why is there a lot of debt on this card?
Because we didn't end up fully paying it off, and it kept.
Why?
Because he asked me if I could afford to go on.
Yo, what's good, people? I got my Subway today. Subway's getting kind of pricey now. $29 for all this. 29 bucks. It's like doubled in price over the past 5 or 6 years, but whatever. So this sub, look, I got this sub with bacon and turkey. I've never had a bacon and turkey sub. Let's try it out. Oh yeah.
This trip, and I was like, yeah, thinking I could pay it back to him a little bit slowly over time, not realizing that he threw the whole trip on a credit card.
I put the trip on the card, paid my portion immediately, and then kind of just twiddled my thumbs waiting for him to give me the rest.
And that urgency was never quite communicated to me.
I don't know, if someone says, yeah, I can afford it, you'd expect that they hand the money over.
Okay, alright, great, wonderful. Guys, this is pretty exciting. We'll zoom in. Let's talk about this for a second. Okay. So, I do a little bit of negotiating here and there, when we're having sponsorships and stuff like that. And I've been working with Moomba for a while, and I got a little special negotiation for you guys, because I wanted to get you free money. Because if I get money from them, I want you to get money from them, and then, we're all happy. And the thing is, what I got was exactly what I would want to get if I were putting money in an investing account. Immediate returns on investment. So right now, I got for you guys, and only you guys, literally no other creator has this. If you deposit $2,000 into Moomoo, you get an instant $150 and then 8.1% APY on that money. That's like a 16% return. It's crazy. It's absolutely awesome. Get the free money now. Link in the description below. Let's do this thing. Let's make some money. Well, you purchased $2,788.29 on here. All right. With $207 of interest, I don't know why the we're purchasing that much money. Why are we purchasing that much on a card that is accruing interest that we are not fully paying off? What the fuck are you talking about? Have you paid back your trip yet?
No. Almost. We're almost there.
That means no. Almost is no. I don't know if you know that. Okay. So, why the fuck are we purchasing $2,788?
Groceries.
Okay, so we know we make $4,800 a month. How much did you guys spend last month?
I don't know. What does it say? We probably spent...
I asked you! Good death.
$1,000?
Why would we only spend $1,000? No.
$2,000?
No, we spent more than we made, most likely. I would say we spent, so with all of our debt payments and stuff, plus how much we spend on just groceries and whatnot, we probably spent like $4,500 is going to be my guess.
8,642. What the fuck are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? We have 1,000, then 4,000. We think you spent what you made? No, 1,000. How do you think you spent it? What's your rent? What's your rent?
We spend.
What's your rent?
1,300.
So you thought your spending was 1,000 for the month?
I guess it was.
I don't know how German math works, but I don't think that'll add up there either.
Yeah.
We live with roommates, so a lot of our grocery budget just goes onto the card, and they will send me money.
There's a lot of
so that means we only spent 1,000 last month?
No, it may seem like a lot, but a lot of that was recouped in the money that I get back from the roommates.
And then moving in $59. Account transfer in of $45.
It's probably more.
All right, interesting. Interesting how this is working out. Are you sure you guys aren't just trying to move to a system that's a little easier because we're lazy as fuck?
No. How much was deposited? How much was deposited?
Deposited?
Yeah, because if...
That's what was sent in.
If the amount we got from... Let's see, we had our wedding, and we got a lot of money from that.
How much was your wedding?
We spent
How much did you get from your wedding?
on it. Oh,
I don't know if it's in these statements.
Couple grand. Well, the deposits that I made into our savings account should be in the statements.
Like all of our ATM?
Yeah.
Deposits via ATM. We had that. Do your roommates pay you via ATM?
No, that's the PayPal Venmo.
Then okay, then I don't care.
No, if we spent $8,000, the only way that we could have done that.
I asked you how much you spent. I heard 1,000 and 4,000. The reality was 8,300 something. You don't know your numbers.
I don't know.
This is a harder system. We can like it or we can dislike it, and that's okay. Well, everyone's entitled to their opinion, and I don't honestly think there's a right or wrong. It's just dependent on what you kind of just value. Okay, this is a harder system. A lot of the times, the harder you work, the bigger risk you take. You can make a bigger pie here. That's kind of the thing. But for people that tend to not care or be lazy, they're gonna have a hard time. That is a fact of our system. There is a system that you guys are going to, or you're able to be a little more chill. You can be a little more lazy and there's less consequences, but also you don't get as big of a pie if you go ahead and risk a lot of things. Okay. Do we agree with these at least basic things?
Sure. Yeah.
Are you sure you guys aren't just leaving because, like, you don't know what the you're talking about? You haven't spent a single second to learn.
I don't know about these finances.
These finances, i.e. the ones we're literally having to pay bills
with. Our finances.
You said 1,000. Would you think it was just 1,000 for you? Your rent's
is why I do the money. But no.
But are we sure we're not just fleeing because we can't survive in the system because we haven't put in a single ounce to learn?
We can absolutely survive in this system. It's just miserable.
This doesn't look like surviving in the system. This is a pile of debt.
I don't know. Check the
Can
payments.
survive? I don't know what the we're talking about. Okay, here's a payment. Oh, you made a payment? Oh, good. Even though you made a $4,350 payment, the balance only went down $1,000. That's my rebuttal. Like, I don't know what do you want? What are you talking about?
Balance still went down. Balance still
went down, and you still accrued $207.66 in interest.
It's
yeah, why don't you teach a personal finance class? Everyone's gonna be so well off. It's for Joanne stores and.
Yeah, that was us buying stuff for
McDonald's
the wedding
and McDonald's. So, yeah, like, are we supplying fries for everyone at the wedding?
No, not
Joanne stores, Sweatson House, McDonald's. Lots of McDonald's. Who's McDonald's? Because neither of you are fat.
We both enjoy McDonald's.
I'm so jealous. Why can I not have that metabolism? I don't understand.
It's great.
Serrano Italian.
That was
Thirsty Lion, Mama Shawarma, McDonald's, Ross. Rossing it up like crazy.
More wedding supplies.
Yeah.
Going in and getting some bullshit from the gas station, McDonald's. Likely getting some bullshit Seattle specialty. Lovely dapper desserts. Isn't Fred's Meyer a grocery store?
Yes.
Yeah, quite a few of those, but they seem to be more smaller purchases, which you never really know.
Our big purchases for groceries come from Costco.
So what the f*** are you getting at Fred Meyer?
The onesie-twosie things that...
Onesie-twosies? What's a onesie-twosie?
We're not good at swapping out small quantity items. Costco's a bookstore.
Onesie-twosie? We call them onesie-twosie?
50 avocados at a time.
That's fine. I've just never heard of onesie-twosie. Is this a West Coast thing?
You should go to Portland. It's great.
Yeah.
Onesie-twosies? That's what we call them in Portland?
Yes.
Small items. Yeah.
Onesie-twosies.
One or two things, onesie-twosies.
We speak like toddlers in Portland? Okay.
Hey, Canada calls them loonies and toonies, man.
What?
Yeah. Canada, like, they're $1 and they're $2. Loonies and toonies.
Canada can't figure out how to get, like, a house under $1 million. I don't give a f*** what Canada says. They don't know what they're doing. Except for the ones that download our budgeting app. You Canadians are good.
I don't know. They're doing better than us in the economics department right now.
It's legitimately not true. They haven't had a growth in productivity in 4 years. That is unheard of in Western civilization. That is beyond factually incorrect. Economically, they're horrible. Economically, the median housing price in Canada is 4 times ours.
Their GDP has a growth for the last quarter. Our growth is going to be a reduction.
Well, let's see. We haven't had those numbers.
But
I don't go. But listen, I'm not debating the account. I'm not fucking red, white, and blue jacking myself off. I don't even give a. But if you're talking about that, that's objectively incorrect. The Canadian productivity growth is an absolute disaster, which means wages do not increase. Their housing prices are 4 times what ours are. They have a population of, 40 million? But they had, wasn't it like immigration of 400,000 or something? An absolutely crazy percentage, and they can't house those people, and it pushes everyone's cost of living substantially higher, even though economically...
If they have an immigration of 400,000, then they've got to have spaces for them to go.
Oh, guys, so that's how that works.
I don't know, we're going to Germany. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I know I'm definitely off a little on that statistic, on that last one specifically, but it's still a crazy percentage. Like, people can't literally get housing in Canada. You think our housing's bad here? Buddy, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm okay with the GDP on a quarterly basis that does this. I'm just glad ours has actually grown over the last decade. Fred Meyer, we're getting onesie-twosies. Cafe and Deli, Wendy's, Arby's, McDonald's. Some bullshit from the gas station, bullshit from the gas station. Something amusement. It's interesting. Gas station. Listen, I'm concerned that as this conversation, I wonder if there's even a point to it, because there are so many things I will rag us about. I will rag on the United States. I will rag on individuals. I will rag on anyone for objective reality things, because that's all I care about. But you guys seem to be in a world where just like everything's bad. And then if we're in that situation where that is not objectively true, when it comes to numbers, like inflation data came in today. That's when we're filming it. It's the best it's been in like 4 years. Like, that's incredible.
What was it?
Under 3%, 2.8, if I'm not mistaken.
Out of this, that is actually really good. That's great. But
all I'm saying is, does this conversation even matter? I feel like you're just so anti, which is a very classic Gen Z thing to do, is be complete anti-West.
I can't finish my degree if the Department of Education gets shut down. If FAFSA's gone, I'm f***ed.
What's your tuition?
17 grand a year.
How many scholarships did you apply to this last semester?
0.
No sympathy for me then.
Listen, man.
Come on, that's fucking stupid. Where's any kind of responsibility?
Scholarships require you to put in your SATs or ACTs, and I didn't.
Oh, they require you to put in
I did not get those.
Yeah,
you didn't get those?
That is true.
I started college at 16 and through like a program with my district, and so I didn't take those.
Because he already had college credits.
I was already in college.
So he didn't need to.
And not like the AP stuff. I went to the community college.
Furniture like that can be just as precious as a silver family heirloom.
I didn't have to take my ACTs or SATs, and so applying to scholarships, they ask for those, and so I'm kind of. But
you could like.
But
go
FAFSA
current estimates are suggesting that about 50-60% of scholarships are merit-based, meaning they require SAT to ACT scores. So I will.
Welcome back. Oil prices are higher this morning. Take a look at where crude stands, under $70 a barrel, but still up 0.2% at $69.58 right now on crude. President Trump is vowing a 25% tariff on any country purchasing oil and gas from Venezuela beginning April 2nd. The Treasury Department also extending Chevron's wind-down license to produce oil in Venezuela now until May 27th. Joining me now is Continental Resources founder and chairman Harold Hamm. Harold, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, it's always good to be with you, Maria. Thank you.
I want to get your take overall on what's going on in terms of this policy, new policy coming out of the Trump administration. But first, let me get your reaction to this situation in Venezuela. President Trump is cracking down on Venezuela and putting additional tariffs on countries that are doing business with them.
Well, it's about time, the previous administration, every time they wanted more oil, they called Maduro instead of calling the producers here in this country, which is pretty ridiculous. So, anyway, you look at a couple of these countries, Iran and Venezuela, it's a very hot spots of terrorist activities. So, everybody understands that, and something's got to be done about it. We've seen recently, we came out against the Houthis with a kind of an initial attack. Well, the Iranians certainly have them as their proxy in all these battles. So, you take care of them, you take care of a lot of problems.
Yeah. Let me ask you about what's going on in Turkey, Harold, because I know that this was at one point an important point and place for Continental Resources in terms of your joint ventures. We're seeing massive unrest in Turkey. They are banning short selling. What are your thoughts in terms of what's happening today in Turkey and the impact to the oil business?
Well, it's somehow unsettling for sure, but that's what goes on in these third world countries. When you're non-democratic or some degree of democracy exists there, but not enough. But that's the same thing tried here against Trump. You locked your opposition up in jail and take care of them. So that's kind of what everybody's seeing. That's why everybody's protesting. It's not the right thing to do, of course. But anyway, it'll work out. That's kind of what goes on, and you have to ride it out and see how it takes care of itself. But Turkey.
So it sounds like you're not worried. You're not worried about these protests and these people taking to the streets to protest against the leadership there in Turkey.
I'm not. Turkey is one of the more stable countries in the Middle East, and so you just have to wait those things out and see how it takes care of itself. But it's a fairly stable administration situation over there, even though you have these active protests right now.
Great to know. Your thoughts further on the Department of Energy postponing the implementation of 3 Biden-era mandates on home appliances set to lower costs for American consumers. The delays include test procedures for central air conditioners and heat pumps, efficiency standards for walk-in coolers and freezers, efficiency standards for gas water heaters. I spoke with Energy Secretary Chris Wright on this program about that America First agenda, and I want to get your reaction. He joined me last week. Watch.
Well, once we swing back this pendulum to common sense on energy and focused on the American people first and not some sort of political agendas that don't work so well for the American people. People have lower cost energy, more job opportunities, and a little bit more common sense. We're the team of expensive energy. We want to go back to making things inexpensive and pushing industries overseas. The attitude and the focus on the American people first, I think that'll become infectious. And those blue-collar jobs that are well-paying and critical to our communities have been exporting our country. President Trump wants to bring it back. We want to reindustrialize America, bring jobs and opportunity along with clean air and clean water right here in the United States.
Harold, I'll be speaking with the Secretary again tomorrow. Chris Wright will join us in the 8 a.m. hour tomorrow. But one question that I asked him, Harold, was the President has done so many executive orders with regard to energy and unlocking energy capacity in the country, but what does Congress need to do to codify those executive orders into law, Harold, so that these are long-term laws in the books so that you can be having a confidence that you're putting money into the ground for these long-term projects and the law doesn't change on you?
Well, I think they'll be codified in this upcoming reconciliation bill. So, you know, there's so much that he had to do, that's for sure. But basically, it's offsetting what had been done already. What the Biden administration, how far left, they had gone basically to put us out of business and take, put energy in a real bad spot in America. So, what's being done, Trump's correcting all that. And it takes a lot of work and a lot of things that he had to correct that need to be done. Thank God we've got Chris Wright, Doug Burgum, these folks in there that know energy, know what to do, and are getting it done. And so, and as well as Donald Trump. So it's being corrected, and we've got the right people doing the job, and it will be codified.
And of course, as we always say, the policy around energy is not just economic, but it relates to national security.
I'm joined now by the source of constant anguish and consternation for Donald Trump. That's Norm Eisen. Norm, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me back, Brian, and I hope I bring as much amusement and interest to your audience as I do aggravation to Donald.
That's right. Norm, you were yet again the focus of Donald Trump's ire just a couple of days back when he decided that he was going to revoke your security clearance. But what he did isn't exactly what it seems. Can you explain the irony of this whole move?
Yes. For the third time, Donald Trump proclaimed late on Friday that he was revoking my security clearance. Brian, he must take my security clearance away, then turn it back on so he can take it down all over again. First, weeks ago, he said, "I'm taking Norm Eisen's security clearance." Then I was in a thing that Tulsi Gabbard published, and now Donald Trump has done an executive order. But if he thinks he's going to intimidate me by removing my security clearance, there's other provisions in this executive order. I want to demonstrate that that's not going to happen. So I've continued to litigate. Just on Friday, we filed another case challenging his illegal destruction of the Voice of America, our country's premier international broadcast arm that so many people around the world rely on for free and fair news. Yesterday, I filed a massive brief from conservatives, Brian, in that terrible deportation case. Almost 24 conservatives who served in every Republican presidential administration from Nixon to Trump 1, saying
How can it be a conservative thing to send innocent people to a black site, a secret prison in another country? That's about the least conservative thing you can do. And then I'll have another big lawsuit coming this week. We just won discovery in our case to protect FBI agents, where we got an order saying Donald Trump can't target those FBI agents. So no wonder he's mad. He's losing, and he's lashing out in response.
Well, do you see the irony in the fact that, okay, Trump is issuing these executive orders that at least in your case, don't actually amount to anything. They're just symbolic. It's just a way for him to throw some red meat to the base, but he's not actually doing anything, although he is giving the illusion that he's doing a lot, which I guess happens. That's a byproduct of just issuing executive orders with words on them over and over and over again to, again, give the illusion that you're doing something, even though there's actually no teeth behind it. Can you, compared to the fact that while he's doing this, the target of his ire, you are filing lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit that actually undermines all of his professed priorities?
Well, I'm sure it's an emperor's new clothes situation, Brian, where he's saying, why do we keep losing these lawsuits? You gotta do something about them. Away Norm's security clearance. Nobody tells him you've already done it twice, Donald. So, the other thing,
reporters were calling me all day Friday, he's going to take away your ability to go into federal buildings. But then when you look at the actual executive order, it just says, I shall not go into secure federal buildings unescorted. Well, guess what? When I go to the Pentagon or those other places, you need an escort anyhow.
Yeah.
It's no different than going on, I was on MSNBC earlier today, and there was a very nice young lady who escorted me to the TV studio and then to the buffet so I could have some brunch courtesy of NBC. There's no there. That's what makes the people who are capitulating, bending the knee, kissing the ring, it makes it so needless. But even there, you have Paul Weiss, who bowed down, but Covington and Burling refused to. And Perkins Coie actually went to court and got an injunction. They're defended by Williams and Connolly, one of our nation's most esteemed law firms. So even in that sample set, those who will grovel are a minority. One other funny thing about all this, when they asked Donald Trump if he signed the executive order relating to these illegal deportations, where we filed our brief over the weekend, Judge Jim Boasberg, Trump said, what order? I didn't sign any order. I'm not even sure he knows what he's doing or remembers that he's already stripped my security clearance twice.
All right, Norm, I actually want to talk about some of the cases that are ongoing right now. The government has appealed a number of cases that you've won. So can you talk about the 3 cases that are being appealed? One is your win, reinstating probationary employees. There are tens of thousands of those. The next one is declaring Trump's gutting of USAID unconstitutional. And finally, the last one is reinstating Susan Grunman, who is the head of the Federal Labor Relations Authority. So can you speak on the appeals that the government is seeking against all of your wins?
Yes, Brian. Perhaps the best example of this is the probationary employees case. There, we've protected over 20,000 probationary employees across multiple federal agencies. The judge found that the government fired them in an illegal way. It was done at the Office of Personnel Management. That office has no authority to fire people over at the Pentagon or the U.S. Department of Agriculture, any of the other government agencies. So the judge found it illegal. He found that the excuse was a sham. Government got very agitated about that, took an immediate appeal to the Ninth Circuit, where
where we're fighting it out. I think the fact findings there are so powerful of government dissimulation, and they fail to put forth any evidence to support their position. I'm feeling confident about that. Second, we had our big win against Elon Musk and Doge, declaring unconstitutional for the first time their activities, in that case, gutting USAID, as Musk said, feeding it to the wood chipper. Congress did not give him the authority to do that. You can't tear up the Constitution, say you do what you want. The executive branch executes. Congress sets those rules. Musk hasn't been approved by Congress. That's a constitutional violation. So there, they've taken an emergency appeal. We're working on it. We're writing it this weekend. And then another case that has really aggravated the government, another win, is where we've been defending the right of Susan Grunman, the head of the Federal Labor Relations Authority. We actually got an order from the court in D.C. that she must return to work, and she is back at work. This FLRA has vitally important responsibilities for working people across the country, defending their prerogatives. So that's those connected to the government. So that's another big win. That case, I think, is headed for the Supreme Court ultimately, because the Trump administration claimed
we need to talk about something terrifying that is not getting enough attention. Donald Trump now controls the vast warrantless surveillance machine of the United States government. And so what that means is that he's got the NSA, the FBI, the whole arsenal of digital surveillance tools at his fingertips. And to be clear, this is not just a Trump problem, because the surveillance state has really expanded under both parties. Last year, President Biden renewed Section 702. That's the program that lets government scoop up massive amounts of data with no judicial oversight. And now Donald Trump, who has openly mused about using government agencies against his political enemies, has full access to the system. And it's important to understand how this all works, because every level of law enforcement, from the NSA on down to your local police, has a back door for collecting data without a judge ever signing off. Let's talk about how they do it. First, I want to really quickly tell you about one of our sponsors, Proton Mail. Proton Mail is an email platform with end-to-end zero-access encryption. That means Proton Mail really provide a level of protection that nobody else can offer. Proton Mail is also the only end-to-end encrypted email provider that's open source and independently audited, so that they can back up the promises that they make. When you use Proton Mail, companies are finally not able to spy on you through hidden trackers that they put in emails, and Proton Mail will integrate seamlessly.
Get off my dick!
Ecosystem, it'll sync with your Proton O2. This was supposed to be about spying on foreign targets, but guess what? Americans' data is getting swept up all the time. If a foreigner...
I'm telling on you, motherfucker. I'm telling on you. You think you know this shit? I know all this shit.
Geofencing warrants. Law enforcement sets up a digital perimeter and collects every device's location in a certain area. So think about that. If you are near a protest, congrats. Your phone's data might now be in a law enforcement database. Data brokers. The government doesn't even need a warrant. They can just buy your data from third-party companies. Your browsing companies.
All these bitches want to act like they're the shit. They're not the shit. Just nasty.
No warrant, no oversight. Companies like Google, Apple, Microsoft get thousands of requests like this every year. Big tech, the government's sort of surveillance partner. And this is where things get even more dystopian. Big tech is essentially a government surveillance contractor. The U.S. intelligence agencies figured out companies like Google and Meta are really good at tracking you. We know that they are. And they've made sure that those companies are legally required to cooperate. With Trump back in charge, we have to ask, how much worse can it get? He ranted about killing FISA before Congress renewed Section 702. And now his Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, has walked back her opposition to the program. And don't forget that Trump has this habit of weaponizing government agencies against critics. Imagine what happens when someone like that has unchecked access to the most powerful surveillance tools in the world. So what can you do? The reality is there's almost no meaningful oversight on these programs. The courts rubber stamp surveillance requests. Congress keeps renewing them. Presidents from both parties don't rein them in. The only real solution is
I'm gonna destroy this society by taking up all the storage on their servers. They're not gonna be able to handle it with how much I'm uploading. You see this? You see this? This stream alone is about to hit 3 fucking hours, 1080p, 60 FPS. No one else is out here doing it like this.
Trump seems to have given up on trying to make groceries cheaper. But wasn't that what the entire election was supposedly about? I won on two things, the border, and I won on groceries. Very simple word, groceries. Well, now he admits he won't be lowering grocery prices after all. He told Time magazine, quote, I'd like to bring them down. It's hard to bring things down once they're up. You know, it's very hard. Yes, it will be hard because of Trump's economic plans. What are they exactly? Well, first, Trump plans to slash the top corporate tax rate to just 15%, which would result in the 5 largest grocery stores getting a collective $1.7 billion tax cut. But do you think they will pass those savings on to you? Think again. The year after Trump cut the corporate tax rate in his first term, the largest corporations spent a then record $806 billion on stock buybacks, juicing their own share prices and lining the pockets of their executives and shareholders. Walmart, the nation's largest grocer, has spent $43 billion on buybacks since 2018. If Trump is rewarding grocery stores and food distributors with more tax cuts, why wouldn't they just line their pockets again? Second, grocery prices will skyrocket thanks to Trump's proposed 25% tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada. That's because our neighbors to the north and south are two of our biggest agricultural trading partners, accounting for $84 billion worth of food and beverage imports in 2023. And despite what Trump says, tariffs are not paid by other countries, they're paid by us at the checkout line.
And do you guarantee American families won't pay more?
I can't guarantee anything. I can't guarantee tomorrow. Third, Trump's appointee to head the Federal Trade Commission, Andrew Ferguson, has vowed to end the agency's war on mergers. This will lead to less competition in a food industry that's already dominated by just a few corporations. Research shows that markets with fewer competitors have higher prices, which means you'll be paying even more for groceries. That's why the Biden administration sued to block the merger between mega grocers Kroger and Albertsons. They won that battle. But big food corporations are licking their chops to gobble up the competition when the Trump administration gives them the green light. Fourth, Trump's coolest promise of all is deporting millions of immigrants whose hard work is crucial to our food supply. On day one, I will launch the largest deportation program in American history. Around 1.7 million undocumented people work across the food supply chain in America. Farms, dairies, ranches, and food processors all rely on undocumented workers. Experts agree mass deportations will result in labor shortages, to say nothing of hardships imposed on many people in our communities. And what would those labor shortages mean for consumers? Higher prices. Let's be clear, Trump never had any plan to bring down grocery prices and help working families because he doesn't care about you. He cares about his corporate donors and billionaire buddies. He's focused on making his rich friends even richer. And your life, even harder.
So, like most economists, we try really, really hard to pretend we're better than politics, but inevitably the two are intertwined, and it's honestly naive to look at either in complete isolation. Political agendas have ruined many good-intentioned economic plans, and bad economic conditions have ruined many political initiatives. The new Department of Government Efficiency and its aim to lower US government spending to rein in ongoing budget deficits is a good idea, but it has clearly been mired in just a tad of political controversy. In the interest of complete fairness, sometimes essential economic policies have to be pushed through, even if they are going to be politically unpopular. Massively cutting down on government spending is going to involve cutting funding to people who are not going to be happy about losing their grants, their contracts, or their jobs, and that is completely reasonable. However, effective governance also cannot and should not become needlessly bloated just in the interest of keeping people employed for the next election. Realistically, if fiscal policy was conducted purely on economics, this arguably should have been done decades ago. But the second term of an administration that historically hasn't been too afraid to piss in some Cheerios should, all other things being equal, be the next best time to push through some better medicine, although this is making some big assumptions. The first is that US debt is actually unsustainable to begin with. Yeah, it's now over $36 trillion, or more than 117% of GDP, which for most of the countries we've explored on this channel before is well and truly into the danger zone. It's also not going to be helped by the fact that refinancing that debt is going to start getting expensive now that interest rates are at multi-decade highs. But despite all of this, most mainstream economists maintain that the USA is special, and, within reason, can get away with running a little bit more leverage than most other countries, and it's important to understand why, and if that special status is going to continue into the future. Now, if this is truly unsustainable, the next obvious question becomes, is Doge the right tool to fix the problem before it's too late, or is this just a political initiative masquerading as a solution to a manufactured economic problem? So, has US debt finally gone too far? Can Doge actually turn this around, assuming it was managed flawlessly? And finally, are there better solutions to this problem? Obviously, coverage of this issue has inevitably been mixed along political lines, with a shocking number of outlets not even acknowledging the respective ideas or failures of this initiative. That's why a tool like Ground News is so important. Ground News is an independent, subscriber-funded website and app on a mission to give readers a data-driven, objective way to read the news. It gathers related articles from around the world so you can get different perspectives in one place. For example, the debate over US aid's shutdown by Doge illustrates exactly why diverse perspectives matter. Left-leaning coverage framed Musk and Doge actions as threats and an unconstitutional shutdown of US aid, emphasising the need for systems to be restored, while right-leaning outlets de-emphasise the constitutional questions, instead using terms like shutter and dismantling, while highlighting Doge's efforts to combat waste, fraud and abuse. Every story comes with a quick visual breakdown of the political bias, factuality and ownership of the sources reporting, all backed by ratings from 3 independent news monitoring organisations. There are real-world consequences to not seeing the full picture of pressing issues like this, from shaping public opinion to public policy. This is why one of my favourite features is the Ground News blind spot feature. This surfaces important stories exclusively circulating in the left or right media bubble for more nuanced perspectives on the world we're living in. I think Ground News makes it easier than ever to check your biases and make up your own mind, all without being overwhelmed or misled. Go to ground.news/explain to save 40% on the same unlimited access Vantage plan I use to get my news on the economy and the world. Supporting Ground News not only supports my work, it supports an independent news platform, giving us agency over the information we consume. Okay, so the first thing to recognise is that this whole thing is not totally unprecedented. We've already explored the extreme cost-cutting done by places like Argentina to fix up their fundamentally broken economy, and the Doge program is clearly taking some inspiration from that. Now that is worth addressing separately, and we will get to it, but in a slightly more controlled manner. Even the US has actually been here and done this all before, and not even really that long ago. Most recently, in 1993, the newly elected government pushed through the Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act, which, amongst other things, sought to drastically reduce government spending to reduce the budget deficit. This plan also simultaneously involved raising taxes, primarily on higher income earners, but we'll also get to that detail later. Now this plan, in conjunction with, to be fair, a very strong overall economy, and the adoption of modern technologies like the computerisation of administration systems, saw the federal government deliver its first budget surplus in over 2 decades. What's more, is it was the largest surplus in US history, and lasted 4 years up until 2001. Since then, the US government has never run a surplus again, and it's been consistently spending more than it brings in tax revenue in a budget deficit. Now, a quick side note is that a budget surplus doesn't necessarily mean that the country has no debt. It just means that it has more revenue through taxes or other forms of income, like potential natural resource rents, than it spends on all the various things that governments spend money on. What's more is that running a budget surplus doesn't even necessarily mean that the government has to pay down its debts, or that it can't take on more debt. Just like an individual that earns more than they spend might maintain a mortgage and might even do a cash-out refinance, there's no mandate for a government running a budget surplus to commit that extra money to exclusively paying down debt. There are a few economies around the world where the government consistently brings in more money than it spends, but they still have significant national debt. Now, to be fair, those countries, like, well, Norway, for example, don't have the level of debt that the USA has, but it is still there because, in moderation, there are some big advantages to having at least some government debt. And as a bit of foreshadowing, this is particularly important for the USA, so remember that for later. For now, though, in the USA, these details are largely academic because, of course, an individual or a government that is spending more than they make really has no choice other than to take on debt. One more thing that probably needs to be mentioned is that a trade deficit is different from a budget deficit. Trade deficit is just when a country imports more than it exports. Budget deficit is when the government spends more than it taxes. Okay, so with the admittedly somewhat confusing jargon out of the way, what is to stop the government of today committing to the same kind of deficit reduction measures that...
Hi everybody. In the past 20 days, the US stock market just lost $4 trillion.
Wiping out $4 trillion in market value from the S&P 500.
The S&P 500 had its biggest one-day drop.
The chance of recession is higher than most people believe.
Many experts believe the U.S. could enter a recession this year.
$4 trillion is like wiping out the entire GDP of India in just 20 days. And this bloodbath did not leave any giant behind. Apple lost $174 billion in a single day. Tesla lost $127 billion. Nvidia lost $140 billion. And the US stock market is bleeding.
Apple shares posting their worst month in more than 2 years.
America's biggest technology companies lost some $750 billion in all.
Even Tesla, it turns out, doesn't like tariffs. That company, owned by President Trump's right-hand man, Elon Musk, had sent a letter to the administration warning that it could be affected by retaliatory tariffs from the escalating trade war.
This isn't just a market crash. This is the beginning of something very, very scary, because it is not just the stock market. Look at this. The interest rates in the US are at a 20-year high. Housing is becoming absolutely unaffordable for Americans. Credit card default just hit a 14-year high. And now, Trump has declared a trade war against China.
So we've been ripped off by every country in the world, friend and foe. We've been ripped off on trade.
Trump administration's tariff on Chinese goods is officially in effect and have a trickle-down effect that could hurt American businesses and American consumers.
New invisible wall of tariffs being built by Donald Trump could act as a barrier for millions of American families.
And if you think it's only Americans, remember, when the United States sneezes, the entire world catches a cold. And in India, we are already seeing the bloodbath happen. Foreign investors are pulling money out, the markets are volatile, and the economic uncertainty is rising with each passing day. So is the US heading for a full-blown recession? If yes, how will this shake India? And most importantly, since we are expecting a recession, how can you protect your family? Stay with me till the end, because what's coming next could change everything you know about the economics of the 21st century. This video is brought to you by the Communication Masterclass course. People, if you're a senior executive who wants to communicate your ideas as powerful leaders and not as shy, timid individuals, you must join our Communication Masterclass course. Because the truth is, you could be the hardest working person in the room, but if you're not communicating your value, you will stay invisible, and the person who knows how to speak well will always get the promotion that you deserve. And that is why, to fulfill your ambitions and climb the corporate ladder, mastering communication is very, very critical. And if you're this ambitious person who wants to speak with confidence and clarity, you must join our Communication Masterclass course. And if you don't find value in this course in 7 days, we will return your money with no questions asked. I have crafted this course specially to teach you how to speak with clarity and fluency, how to overcome communication challenges and speak like a pro, how to master storytelling to dominate your meetings, how to structure your message and impress your boss, and how to boost your confidence to become a strong leader. So if you want to know all of this, and if you want to become a confident person, you must join our 34,000 members who have already transformed their life with their communication skills. On top of that, I will personally be hand-holding you during our bi-weekly live sessions so that in the description, and I will see you in our masterclass. Most people think a recession is simple. If GDP goes down for 2 quarters, they call it a recession. But that's not how it works. There are two definitions of a recession. There is the technical recession and there is a real recession. So if GDP shrinks for 2 consecutive quarters, it's called a technical recession. But right now, if you see, the US GDP is still growing. It's just that the growth has slowed down. But the second definition is where the drama is. The National Bureau of Economic Research defines real recession by asking 4 critical questions. Number 1, are people losing jobs as in employment? Number 2, are wages rising or falling as in income levels? Number 3, are people still shopping or are they cutting back on their spending as in consumer spending? And is the industrial production increasing or decreasing? This is what we call as industrial productivity. And right now, the US economy is flashing mixed signals.
Recent mixed signals are fueling uncertainty, adding to existing concerns over the impact of tariffs on inflation and economic growth.
It is essential that we bring inflation down to our 2% goal. And on Thursday, the government reported that the gross domestic product fell for the second straight quarter, a signal that the economy may be in a recession.
Prices are up. Interest rates are up. Even gas prices are up. And you can understand why so many people are worried.
Where's the economy going? And I think a good point to make is it's hard to predict the future, but right now it's hard to predict the present.
Look at this. The GDP is still growing, but it has slowed down from 3.1% to 2.3% growth. The job market is cooling but not collapsing. But the stock market is extremely volatile and the interest rates are high. So the question is, if we are not in a real recession according to the National Bureau of Economic Research, then why the hell is everyone panicking? Well, that is because there is one chart that has predicted every major US recession in the past 50 years. And right now, this chart is screaming danger.
On March 15th, the U.S. began a bombing campaign against Houthi groups in Yemen. A couple of hours before that, our editor-in-chief, Jeffrey Goldberg, sat in his car in a supermarket parking lot waiting to see if and when the attack would start. How he knew about this military campaign is a very weird story. Not long ago, Jeff was added to a text chain of very important people in the administration. Presumably, he was added to it by accident. I know, it happens to the best of us. But there was the editor of The Atlantic monitoring the back and forth between Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, Vice President J.D. Vance, and others, wondering, could this possibly be real? In fact, Brian Hughes, the spokesman for the National Security Council, later confirmed that it was indeed all real. I'm Hannah Rosen, this is Radio Atlantic, and today we have on the show Editor-in-Chief Jeffrey Goldberg and staff writer Shane Harris, who covers national security, to explain what happened and what it might mean. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Hey, Hannah.
Hi, Shane.
Hi.
Jeff, on Tuesday, March 11th, you get a signal message from a user identified as Michael Waltz, which is also the name of President Trump's national security advisor. Where are you when you get this message, and what are you thinking?
Weirdly and randomly, I was in Salzburg, Austria, and what I'm thinking is not much, because in my line of work, that wouldn't be the craziest thing to happen.
Like, it could be him, it could be someone pretending to be him. You're not that fussed.
I am always cautious about people reaching out across social media or messaging apps. I don't assume that they're the person that the name suggests. But I would have to say that I was glad also, and was hoping that it was the actual Michael Waltz, because I'd like to be in regular contact with Michael Waltz for all the obvious journalistic reasons.
Right. So you're like, oh, maybe that's a scoop for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what happens next? You're going about your life, going about your business, and
then I get added to a group, a signal group, a text messaging chat group called Houthi PC Small Group. PC, I know from covering White House issues, Principals Committee, that basically the top leaders of cabinet departments generally associated with national security issues. And then a message from Mike Waltz talking about how he's putting together this PC small group to talk about the Houthis because something's going to be happening over the next 72 hours. That's when I sort of think, I mean, honestly, the first thing I thought was, I'm really being spoofed. Like, this is a hoax. This is a state or non-state actor, probably non-state actor, looking to entrap, embarrass, whatever word you want to use, a journalist.
Right. So you're on alert. Like, it's a little bit interesting, but also
Anna,
you're
as
on
you
alert.
know, I'm always on alert.
Yeah. Okay.
Anna, what am I going to tell you?
All right. So maybe it's a spoof, maybe it's not. How does it start to get more real? Like,
Well,
how does it develop?
it gets real in the sense that if somebody's doing a spoof, it's a very, very accurate spoof. What happens is a number of cabinet-level officials start reporting into this chain, giving the names of their deputies or contact people over the weekend when clearly something's going to happen in Yemen. In retrospect, clearly something's going to happen in Yemen. And that was that for that day. It was the next day that they start engaging in a policy discussion, really in earnest, and it's explicated in the story that I wrote. But that's when I'm sort of thinking to myself, if this is a simulation or this is a fake, someone's going to a huge lengths to make it seem real, because everybody in the chat sounds like the person who they're quote unquote playing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm I don't say I'm 50-50. I'm still 60-70, 70-30. This is a fakery, because for the simple reason that this is nuts. I mean, obviously, why would I be involved in this?
I wouldn't even know what to think, because, yeah, like, we include people on text chains who we shouldn't.
Yes.
Like, the mistake seems as implausible as the reality. Like, every version seems implausible.
We all make the mistake. This is why this is so relatable.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Shane, and I'm writing to Hannah about Shane.
Yes.
An assignment, or how great Shane is. And I type in Shane into the recipient, intended recipient, because that's the name that's on my mind. I don't know what was going on in Mike Waltz's mind, who he was thinking of. We're trying to figure that out, still trying to figure that out. But in any case, I was added to this group, and it's a misdirected email or text chain that I shouldn't have been on. But the larger point, and obviously Shane can speak to this, the larger point is that why is this conversation happening out in the open? Now, I know Signal is end-to-end encrypted, but it's a commercial texting service that anyone, not just people with security clearances in the federal government, can join. So that's the essential danger, and that's, if you want to think about it, original sin. The original sin is communicating very sensitive information in a channel where you can mistakenly bring in, I mean, forget the editor of The Atlantic. You could have brought in a Houthi.
Right.
For all you know. Like, you could bring in somebody who is actively sympathetic to the Houthis and sharing real-time information with you. That's somewhat appalling.
So, Shane, I'm going to ask you about that in a second, but I need one more part of the story before we move on to that. Give me an example of, you said it sounded like them. Like, if it was a simulation, it was an amazing simulation. Can you give us an example?
Sure. Pete Hegseth writing in all caps about how he finds the Europeans pathetic. J.D. Vance sounding like a kind of quasi-isolationist, talking about why would we do this sort of thing? Europe should take care of this problem. It's not our problem. Trade conversations. The most interesting one, and the one that I thought, whoa, that really does sound like the guy. At the end of this chain, Stephen Miller, or I should say SM, a person identified as SM, comes in and basically shuts the conversation down and said, I heard the president, he was clear to me, he wants to do this. Mm-hmm. It was basically, and obviously this is really interesting, the conversation with not only the Secretary of State, Treasury, and Defense, but the Vice President of the United States. And here comes Stephen Miller